Celeste, you might not be able to answer this question, but for those of us who, didn't grow up privileged, name something that was a luxury when you were a kid. And let's start with Mashai.
Ooh, um, maybe going to Hawaii. I still haven't been there yet. That's luxury, and I heard it's expensive. So that's the first thing that honestly pops into my mind.
Okay.
That's a
Now,
luxury, right?
no, well, the question is, I guess it's the question more not necessarily something you would like to do, but name something that um, that you thought was a luxury when you were a kid. Okay, so going to Hawaii, you thought that was a luxury. You still don't think that's a luxury today?
Yeah, I've never been there, so yeah, it's a luxury. I'm
Okay,
still trying. Mhm.
okay, bro.
Oh, that's easy for me. Second helpings.
Okay,
Oh my.
okay,
You know, when you grow up in the house, man, and you know you got 6 brothers, 2 sisters. Yeah, man, they ain't no seconds. So yeah, I always thought second helpings was a luxury.
okay. All right,
Eh,
Josh,
just saying.
I can dig it. Yeah, seconds. Wow.
Josh can't hear anything right now.
Oh, he's technical difficulties. Okay.
Yeah.
Whoever want to go next.
No,
Go ahead, Miss Nikki.
well, I actually thought Jello pudding pops was quite a luxury. Um, I love Jello pudding pops. When I was little, they used to be at my babysitter's house, so never at mine. So I always thought they was a luxury.
I thought Lexus, an Austin Martin Vanquish, and Disney World were luxuries.
Okay.
For me, food. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. No, just going on a vacation anywhere. I thought was a luxury. It just seemed like that was just something that was so extravagant that it's not at the time for me. I didn't grow up knowing what luxury or not luxury was, if that makes sense. So just anything outside of my norm was really a luxury. Which going to Florida is one thing that I can remember that was like something extravagant when I was a kid. So I would say like taking a flight.
Got you. Okay. Celeste, you want to get in
Oh, after you shame me.
there?
Having a summer home.
Yeah.
Okay. I still think that's a luxury. You don't think that's a luxury today?
I thought it was when
Man,
you were a kid. Yes.
there's a lot of rich people on this panel. Let me
I was
tell
about
you,
to say like
man,
oh,
hey, Jesus Christ, man, they make me feel inferior, dude. Oh, hold up, man. Let me go do something.
Yeah, I think I might be bougie because this,
I know. I mean, y'all.
I can understand. I can
Yeah,
understand.
y'all are pretty privileged, man. I mean, summer homes and trips to Hawaii. Okay.
No, I didn't have a summer home. You said
I
what
didn't
Oh,
we
but you thought that's what I'm saying. But
yeah,
I don't know, man. I
thought
thought like something like going to Red Lobster. Like, hey, we got a chance that like we was doing something for real.
I
Oh, that
know.
was regular. That was regular.
Yeah.
I was expecting some humble answers. There ain't nothing humble about these answers. Let me tell
right.
you.
I know, seriously.
I'm
Seriously.
sorry, that was regular.
Well,
Yeah, Red
I was
Lobster
answering,
would have been a luxury when I was 10.
like I was answering it from something that I personally experienced. That's how I interpreted the question. So I just that's why I said the trip because it's not something that I regularly did or experienced. So when to say a luxury home or like a vacation home or whatever it was, Miss Celeste, you need a
Now
brother.
everybody's shaming me.
No, I'm with you, Celeste. I'm with you, Celeste. I'm right there with you. That's what I said. I thought that's what I said. I named cars because to me, if you drove a Lexus or something like that, that was fancy. You know what I'm saying? It was like if you see a Lexus come down the road, it's like that they got money. But
So we didn't have any kind of fancy cars, but I definitely had friends. Grew up in a significantly Jewish neighborhood, and most of my friends that were Jewish, their parents had summer homes in Florida. So like spring break and stuff like they always during the winter would go to their summer home in Florida. We had to stay home because we didn't have one.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Somebody,
right.
I too have
somebody
suffered.
gets Celeste. Somebody gets Celeste some napkins immediately because I saw a tear about to fall. And you know, I understand it, Celeste. I get it. Trust me.
Why is now you make me feel like should I have said like having like McDonald's would that have been better? I mean, would that have been better?
Yeah, we
I
should have
mean, I want you
lied.
to keep it real. I mean, you don't have to lie to kick it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, you
Oh
know.
no. We're
McDonald's
not
was a
saying that.
luxury?
Listen to the people out there. Don't get it misunderstood. Be proud of your background. Be proud of where you came from. All
No, I
right,
mean, there was a time that
because
McDonald's was a luxury for sure.
I mean,
You
it
know, I
was,
remember
yeah.
asking for McDonald's
yeah,
and now you'll eat something at the house. We got, you know, I just went to the grocery store. You know what I'm saying? You better get a sandwich at the crib.
You got
McDonald's
some
definitely a
McDonald's
luxury back
money?
in the day. Exactly. Exactly.
because ain't nothing worse than somebody who grew up like you know, from a good background trying to act ghetto. All right, I'm actually from the ghetto. All we ever try to do is get out the ghetto, so that's one thing that we don't like to see. So embrace where you come from.
I can dig it.
This has made me grateful for my childhood. Thank you all very much.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we got privileged folks over here. Okay. That's awesome,
Man,
man. That is
you
awesome.
got
Hey, listen. Hey, straight up, I'm gonna get a loan from one of y'all tonight.
with
It's
I,
definitely
0%
I don't
interest.
know. I
All right,
don't know.
let's
I'm
keep it
looking.
going, man. I wanna
I'm measuring them up right now.
I wanna play this for you guys. I'm sure everybody is familiar. I think everybody knows that Jasmine Crockett has tossed her hat in the ring for the Senate seat. And she had a new rap video that came out. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see it, but it's pretty interesting to say the least.
She ain't never scared and she ain't never been. Who else willing to go toe to toe against the president? I can't wrap my head around someone who votes Republican. She advocate for feeding kids, they protect the ones touching them. Trump invading his own country with an army, what a joke. We remember Pearl Harbor by illegally bombing boats. What y'all thought we wasn't gonna do nothing but they think again. They only trying to scare her out of running cause they think she win. Listen, thought I told y'all we ain't never scared. Now look who name on the docket. Got two words for every racist bigot living, Jasmine Crockett. Everyone in MAGA isn't racist. Yeah, that might be true, but in all of history, I never seen a Nazi flag be blue. So which side you wanna choose? Me, I hope my money goes to the side that isn't trying to say affordabilities. I hope she stand on business, all 10 toes. Texas tough, don't need no more bad built, bleach, blonde, butch bodies moving forward.
Whoever would like to, you know, what you can go wherever you want to go with this. Nikki, Aunt Nikki, we'll start with you. What are your thoughts, man? Sheesh.
I'm sorry, you would start with the new girl. I'm sorry. Every time I will give her that. Every time I hear beach blonde, big, like that just makes me laugh. But I mean, I think it's the same thing that it always is. She know her base. She know what's going to get them riled up. I wouldn't even call that pandering. Well, it's pandering for her because that's not how she really is. But just listening to the words, first I would say lawsuit, maybe defamation, a lot of it. But then she talked about history, and I'm just listening, and they saying we don't know our history, but their party is the history of the KKK. So I'm just a little bit confused on the song. I'm just really disappointed that someone like her would perpetuate this stereotype of us. and everybody looking at her like a representative, because I believe she is smart, you know, a beautiful girl, but her spirit is ugly, it's trash. And that's really all I gotta say about that. And the video was trash. So I'm trying to be good on your panel, so just
Please. Crystal, I'll give you the next word on this. Is this the representation that Black women were looking for in America?
Now you know how I feel about this gutter bunny, and I don't know why you
Oh,
always
Lord.
be pulling me to because you know how I feel about her, because it irritates me. It irritates me. Why does it irritate me? Because why do you think that is the way to connect with our community? Like the only thing you can do is throw on a rap song, create a rap video, which is like the worst rap video I've ever seen in my life. But you gonna put together a rap video and say this is how I connect. Y'all aren't smart enough to understand anything else. The only thing that y'all will understand is if I put on a rap beat and call it a day, and this is how y'all gonna come out and vote. She's irritating. She's very irritating. And no, we do not want to be. That's why whenever somebody says Jasmine Crockett represents you, I'm like, no, she doesn't. I don't know who she represents, but it is not me. It's somebody else. Whoever wants to claim her, you can claim her, but it's not gonna be over here.
I mean, silver lining, at least it wasn't Meg Thee Stallion. I mean, silver lining,
It was close.
it was a completely different direction.
But
It was
Michelle, I'll
close.
give you the next word on it.
Who was it? I'm sorry.
Michelle.
it was just because it wasn't Meg doesn't mean it was different. I believe it's the same thing. It's just someone different. And I had said earlier, or whenever I did my last live, she better not. Somebody in the chat said she better not bring out Meg Thee Stallion. Well, y'all, she did it. So just because it's not actually Meg, it's still the same thing, and she does not represent me. So if this is the best that she has to offer, which obviously it is, and there's the 92% that want to go ahead and vote for her, then have at it. But I think it's insulting, and I'm tired of this being the only type of representation to be shown for us. And that's why I say all the time, we are not all the same. I'm not part of the 92%, and I don't have time for this foolishness. And I heard someone say in someone's live stream that I was listening to that she has trademarked bad built, blah, 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 whatever that saying is that she have for MTG. And I think that she wants to be a businesswoman. I don't even think she wants to be a government official. I think she wants to be on a reality show. I think that's where she would be headed, or have a spot on Charlemagne show, whatever that thing is called, or do something like that. She doesn't want to be a person in government. I don't think so anyway. She's always making TikToks. Girl, go get a job then. I don't understand. I think she wants to be on Zeus Network, honestly.
Celeste, what are your thoughts?
I don't think she's smart, and I have not seen any evidence of this alleged intelligence she is supposed to possess. Lots of people say that she is. I keep looking for it. I have yet to find it, and I think that she's making a huge mistake. I think she is running as a national candidate. And I think we'll see a lot more of this with different iterations from other Democrats, because I don't think that they have the facility and the party is giving them what they need so that they could actually speak to the issues that are pertinent to the people in their actual districts. So instead, what they are doing is trying to run national campaigns largely focused on Trump, the Trump administration, and other national issues. But I will hold out in case there is, some evidence of some intelligence, and we'll be happy to see it should it emerge. But thus far, I have yet to find it.
Uncle Bro.
Well, listen. I'm so tired of this lady right here. Number one, man, I'm kind of looking at her face, dude. I think she's going like the Little Kim, Latoya Jackson route. You know what I mean? Well, she just kind of plastic surgery, you know, doing that, and every year, man, she gonna look more and more like a Thundercat. You know what I'm saying? By the time it's all said and done, dude, this is ridiculous. Then on top of that, you gonna shoot a music video, which we all know she loved being on camera, but you gonna shoot a music video with a gay rapper? Come on, man. That dude got a whole bunch of sugar in his tank. All right. Dude, looking like an overweight Odell Beckham. He got like a little blonde thing going on. You know, we talked about Odell last week. He got the little blonde thing going on. Dog, y'all gotta stop doing those blonde tips and them red tips, bro. Y'all look like roosters. You know what I'm saying? It ain't a good look, you know. But her running for, you know, Senate seat in Texas, come on, bro. We all know that ain't going nowhere. It ain't going nowhere. I was in Texas for 2 seconds, dude. Literally, I drove through Texas, stayed at El Paso a few nights, driving through on my way to the Democratic hellhole known as California. But anyway, I drove through Texas, all right. Wise, I seen more pickup trucks than I ever seen in my life. All right. They ain't electing this chick. We all know that. So at the end of the day, man, it's all just for show, you know, because what else is there behind it? Anybody with a pair of eyes knows she ain't got a shot in getting elected in no Texas. Okay, so what is the point? I just don't even understand the point outside of it just being a money grab. Like you were saying earlier on your show, you know, this is $100 million election. That's the reason she won't sin.
But she'll look.
But
She fought, though. That's what it is. She looked like she fought for us. She not fought for you. That's what it will look like. They will think it is, in my opinion.
A woman like Jasmine Crockett ain't no different than any other race grifter that you see out there right now. Pick one: Roland Martin, Al Sharpton, the snitch. Just throw them all out there. They all literally, when I see them, they have little price tags right above their head. You know, this one costs this much, this one costs this much, and this one costs this much. And if you buy a group deal, you get a discount. You know what I mean? Because they all for sale. You know, they believe in nothing. These are soulless people. They believe in nothing. Even when Kamala was running, okay, Oprah charged her, Al Sharpton charged her, Roland Martin charged her. These are all supposed to be your friends. You know, how is it that Donald Trump could go on a show like Joe Rogan? He could go on the PBD podcast. He could go on these major podcasts, all right, and basically pay nothing. They just want to talk to him. But any podcast that she does, she got to pay. You know, so these people believe in nothing. And once you see them for what they are, you're not surprised at how low they'll stoop. And that's pretty much where I'm going to leave that.
Hey, Josh, how's your audio, man? Can you hear us?
Yeah, his camera kept moving around. Why? It looked like a deleted scene from Cops. You know what I'm saying? I was expecting for the police to bust in the door and start handcuff and drag out your boy.
I can hear everybody but Wise. I can't hear Wise.
Okay.
He was just saying that he's trying to get your thoughts on the video.
He already know I don't like Jasmine Crockett, man. That's the I feel like her video just the whole time. Can y'all can hear me, right?
Yes.
It just scares me, to be honest with you, because if she wins this, it opens up doors for other people like her or worse to have the confidence to jump in and start doing what she's doing. And like, it scares me, to be honest with you. So when I see her, I don't think anything positive. So I try to keep my comments to myself, especially where I live, like in Ohio. I think she has a lot of like followers up here, even though she's down there, but she has a lot of followers. She has a lot of influence up here from what I see. So of course I can't say nothing because I'm gonna get canceled locally and I don't want that. But she scares me, man. And I've seen her talk, and it's cringeworthy when she talks because she says so much stuff, and it's like if you don't know anything, she'll talk you right into a ditch. Like if you don't know the real facts of what she's talking about, she'll talk you right into damnation, pretty much. So I'm gonna try to keep it as positive as possible. That's as good as I can get with her. Wise knows I don't really fool with what y'all call her, Jasmine Ratchet, or that's her nickname in the streets and for
The crock pot.
the crock pot.
Crash Out Crockett,
Crash.
Jasmine Crochet.
Crockett, whatever.
I know y'all got all the nicknames, especially Crystal. I know she got all the nicknames. I think she got.
Did anybody
this chick. Well, if you was Jasmine Crockett, Crystal, what Bible verse would you give her to study?
I would give her the entire book of Proverbs.
Proverbs. I knew it. I knew you were going to say that. I knew it.
Proverbs 31. I would want her to read that and then jump over to Galatians 5 because I need her to understand what the fruit of the Spirit look like since she is the daughter of a pastor potentially.
I was going to say she's a PK.
Yeah, she's a PK, so she should know what the fruit of the Spirit looks like. But for some weird reason, she doesn't know what she's supposed to be doing.
You know, I would hit her with Galatians 5:19 and hit her with the works of the flesh first.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. Ooh,
y'all got. I mean,
what do you think her parents think? Or does she go home and tell them like, "Hey, this is an act. I know y'all know me. I'm not really like this. I just have to put on like this to get." To get the black folks to vote for me, and I got to get out here like this. What do you think her parents think of her? Anybody?
I'm afraid.
I don't think they care.
I'm afraid. I'm with you. I'm with Aunt Nikki. I agree. I don't know if they care. I'm like, if it was my home, my parents would have snatched me on the stage. Have you lost your mind? If I'm on live here and my parents are here and I say anything out of whack, they would bust up here. What did you just say? Fix that. That is not how you act. So I'm with Aunt Nikki. I don't think they actually care because by now they should have told her something. Why are you portraying yourself like that? That is not how we raised you. You weren't raised in that type of environment. Why are you doing this? But them checks clear, and sometimes you forget.
Man, the parents on the payroll. Trust
I was
me.
gonna
The
say
daddy
they
get a
probably,
truck,
yep,
the daddy
that
get a
mindset.
truck, the mama get a Mercedes, okay, and they don't watch TV. That's how that go. And she go off and she act a fool and do whatever. It's always down to the money.
I think with the crock pot, I think if I'm being honest, if I'm being objective, the first 8 bars, because I've been in the studio before, I want to go there, but the first 8 bars of it was kind of decent. Not gonna lie, the first 8 bars of it was cohesive from a music standpoint, not the point that they were trying to make, but from a music standpoint, it was cohesive. But it just fell off the rails after that. But just the fact that
is rap that bad, Spaces? Is it that bad?
What you mean?
Was it good because of the beat behind it?
I'm just saying, dude. We did
no,
the death of hip hop a couple weeks ago, and we talked about this. Is rap that bad, bro? Where you're bumping some Jasmine Crockett?
No, I'm not. I would never put Jasmine Crockett in my rotation whatsoever.
I'm just asking, bro. This is a legitimate question, bro. I don't know what's going on in Spaces land over there, but
no,
bro, please don't do it.
No, I gotta. There's different aspects of my understanding when I look at things. So one of them is objectivity. Look at it from the outside looking in.
But dude, all it takes is for this clip right here to go viral. All right, and Jasmine Crockett now thinks she got a fan base, and she's gonna drop a CD, and it's gonna be because of you, and this statement right here.
That's okay.
You said the first 8 bars was pretty dope.
The first 8 bars, I was counting them, was all right because they were cohesive lyrically in terms of the cadence of the rap itself, not the point that they were trying to make, because Jasmine Crockett is an abysmal politician. So let that part go viral too. When you know what I'm saying? But when it comes to the crock pot, I just I've gotten to the point where my ears kind of turn off when she starts speaking. and I pride myself on being a person that listens to my opposition, or listens to the people that, you know, speak in a different angle from me, or speaks opposite of whatever it is that I believe. And I still have yet to see where Jasmine Crockett says that she's going to do something different for people. She's constantly talking about, I'm going to be opposite to Trump.
That's it.
Mhm.
I
That's
mean,
it.
think about this. Have you heard a plan? Have you heard any piece of legislation that she wants to move? I mean, she just rolled out, this campaign and said that, hey, I'm running for Senate. Have you heard anything, about her platform?
And you know what,
Well,
too,
she
Mr.
had the
Wise?
no taxes for black people.
I
She did
heard
say
her talking
that.
about that.
Yeah, she did say that. Yeah.
But I mean, you
Well,
know,
that wasn't even her idea. She said she heard that from somebody.
Yeah.
She heard it from Mom Donnie. So when Mom Donnie said you were going to tax those rich white people, so she just flipped it. That's all she did.
Yeah, it's like, no.
But the thing is, even with that, right? Even because, you know, with a lot of black people, the people that don't pay attention to the conversations, and when people don't think about practicality in terms of how things actually are going to happen. I'm not sure if I said this here before, but the absolute majority of people don't even know their grandmother's mother. So how are you going to triangulate for how are you going to triangulate who deserves the reparations and who doesn't? And then on top of that, if you're gonna throw out reparations, you know this is what she's banking on when she talks to black people. She knows that black people are when you throw some a nice beat in front of black people, they go blind. They go blind.
Golly, yo. Oh man, we better than that, bro.
That beat was a sample anyway.
Well, I would want. Well, I would want to
It was a
think. That's
sample
what I was
of
gonna say.
something else, right? What was the song from
I
back in the
think
day?
never scared.
Bone
Never
Crusher,
scared.
Yeah,
never
there you go.
scared.
There you go. That's it.
But
Bone Crusher
I
never
would like to
scared.
think that, Brother Wise, but that's the sad reality of it, is that our people are going to be the ones that go for it.
Mhm.
Literally because she loud,
Mhm.
because they feel like she a representation of them, which she is not. And I was trying to tell somebody today, because they like to say, oh, because she a strong black woman. She is strong. No, don't mix up strong with ghetto and loud. Like those are two different things. And I think people are getting those two conflated. Those are not the same. Ghetto and strong are not the same. But when they hear it loud, or because she talk trash, and the same thing that they do on a everyday life, they think it's cool, but they don't. She has never passed none. I've never even heard of anything she's gotten pushed through.
None.
She's just on social media. She's a social media star. I would actually respect her more if she put out a real rap song, put on her little hot pants or whatever she got to do, or go get on the Bad Girls Club. I would respect that more, but don't get in this office. You're a lawyer, you spout all your degrees like they all do, which means nothing to me, the big words, which she refused to use. I'm actually yearning for a big word now. I'm really not into big words, but I want her to use some, because I do, Miss Celeste. She got to be intelligent, but she intelligent enough to manipulate the people. I do not think, when I say she intelligent, not dumb, she's not dumb as far as her strategy and what she is trying to do for herself. She know the hand she's playing. She ain't now intelligent. You're right. There might be different, because now I'm just gonna separate the two. Intelligent, smart. Intelligence is another level. Wise is another level. I don't think she's those. But she's not dumb by far. None of the libs are. That's why they played the long game. And that's why we right where we at right now.
Celeste, did you want to add something?
And I'm gonna go with Auntie on this. I'm willing to say maybe she's cunning, but intelligence to me means that you have a high quality of thought.
Right.
And I don't see any high quality thinking coming from her.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I say
Super chat I
one
want to
last
read real quick, and then we'll keep it moving. Let's see here. Thank you, single fathers, coming through with the $5 super chat. Says Jasmine, don't be out here in them Dallas streets. Okay, streets. She fake hood. Hashtag Oak Cliff Hood wannabe. Okay. All right.
Okay, let me say one last thing super quick, Mr. Y.
Go for it, bro.
So the first thing that came to my mind with this is when I heard the song is Bone Crusher, Never Scared, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I first heard this, the first thing I thought about was Democrats at the DNC when they had this like rap concert.
Mm-hmm.
They threw this rap concert, and while I'm watching it, I'm like, this is what Democrats think of Black people.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
They throw Lil Jon out there, and it's like, now don't get me wrong, I understand, playing for the radio, getting all that stuff. I'm not knocking that. This is one of the most important decisions or most important situations, engagements that's important to all of America. And when it comes to Black people, didn't they have it in Atlanta? I don't remember.
I don't know. If no,
they had
Chicago.
some type of rally in Atlanta when Kamala.
rally.
That's when Megan Stallion pulled up, and
that was
Quavo and a few others.
Black women. This is what Kamala Harris. 92% of women, Black women that voted. This is what they think. Glorilla and
yeah, but you have a lot of people that defend this, though. You have a lot of people that defend the behavior. I've heard people defend the behavior. I've heard people say, well, they got to do this in order to, they justify, acting this way or, being for certain things because they got to do it in order to get the position. They're okay with someone lying, to their face or doing whatever they feel like they need to do in order to make it. I've heard this from people. I'm not going to call anybody out on the show today, but I've heard this, so there's a lot of people out there that defend the behavior.
Hey, Wise, before you jump on to the next topic, I just want to say to Dion, hopefully she feels better and that we'll see her next week, and in the meantime, I'm going to send her one of my inspirational taco shirts, to give her that little bit of comfort that she needs to go ahead and pull out of the slump that she in. So I'll see you next week, girl. And expect your shirt. I got you.
See why I love you, Wise? You see why I had to get at you for that? You see? Do you see?
Look, she's appreciative for the tacos and fornication t-shirt. All right. Shout out.
Exactly. Oh my God. One other, can I say one other thing?
She's my muse. I found out my muse is sick. I got to throw a shout out there,
Go for it.
I was just going to say one other. I didn't know if any of you all heard. Also, I had seen a report come out today about how the GOP actually manipulated her and kind of gaslit her into running with those polls that they were putting out. Mm-hmm. A lot of those earlier polls that's saying that she could win were put out by the GOP. So
that's hilarious. Thank you for that, Auntie Nikki. I needed that laugh tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, so it's definitely a big troll. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting, and hopefully we can all get some content out of it.
Oh, we will. Amen. Amen and amen to that. Thank you.
But I said that the other day. She's definitely the gift that keeps on giving for sure. Let's keep it moving, man. I don't know if you guys heard about the teenagers that decided to, instead of playing a football game, they decided that they're going to, go on a stealing spree down in Florida.
The Cocoa Tigers.
Found out.
They won the
Play this for you guys.
I want to compliment the Cocoa Tigers. They won the championship after finishing the season 15-0. It was the Atlantic Coast Youth Athletics Association. And they beat the Thoroughbreds 26-6. I mean, they didn't just beat them, they ran over them. And the Thoroughbreds were from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Now I want to introduce you to 8 of the Thoroughbreds. And here they are. You look at the Thoroughbreds and you find out, what were they doing? What were they doing on Saturday morning? Well, let me tell you what they were doing. They Ubered from where they were staying They had come from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, down to the Dick's Sporting Good in Posner Park. Not only did they Uber down there to shop, they had no intentions of paying for their product. So they came into the store in two groups, and they began to systematically steal product. And that's exactly what they did. They stole, and they stole, and they stole, and they stole, and they stole. Yeah, how do you like that? This is everything that they stole. And guess what? As we've said before, you can't go any place, anytime that you're not on a camera. So Dick's Sporting Goods knows that they're stealing because they're watching this systematic, organized theft ring called a football team. Now, not only did they steal 47 items, not only did they steal 47 items, but ostensibly they may have cost their team the championship and the football game, because I don't know if these all were starters or not, but I can tell you that we were finishers. We arrested them. We took them to the Juvenile Assessment Center, and we put them in lockup. But I want to introduce you to their coach. His name's Raynon Bynes, B-O-I-N-E-S. So when we notify the coach who is responsible for them, you would think he would be interested in holding them accountable and responsible. Instead, he goes to the deputies and begs them not to take these young men into custody. Oh, don't arrest them. Drop the charges. Let them go. And then when we said no, then they go to Dick's Sporting Goods, to the manager, and said, oh, don't charge them. Don't charge them. They were not taking bubble gum, one piece to chew. They stole over $2,000 worth of products, over 47 different products they stole.
Child, Dick has insurance. It's okay.
Yeah, they do.
Sorry, Philly. Sorry, Philly. My bad.
I'm sorry. This is
Look at
hilarious.
Celeste's face.
They didn't know what county they were in.
No, Polk County serious, man. You don't play down in Polk County for sure. That's like one of the worst counties to even
That's
think
my
about
country.
committing a crime in.
I work in Polk County all the time. And they don't play over in Polk County. And I love me some Grady Judd. Let me tell you, that dude right there, man, he make us proud. I shed a tear when I'm talking about old Grady. I love him.
I mean, the kids did what they did, and that's one thing. But my concern is the coach. I coached youth football for, man, almost 15 years. I coached on the middle school level about this age group. These kids are down in Florida on a trip, which is really dope. I would assume, a good amount of these kids, they come from maybe some impoverished. So they're an opportunity to travel down to Florida to play in maybe either the AYF or Pop Warner, quote unquote, Super Bowl down there. This is an opportunity. And 8 of them decided that they're going to take a Uber and go and steal. But my main concern is the coach. The coach. Like, what are you teaching these young people? You know what I'm saying? My first wave of kids are adults at this point. And we were trying to feed into these kids. Most of the kids that I coached, they didn't come from the best neighborhoods. And it was a lot of single parents. So we are the father figure that they see. Like, what are you teaching these young people? Seriously.
No, Wise. Listen, at the end of the day, I blame the mother. That's who I blame. Because I guarantee you, all these boys come from single mother households. Listen, let me explain something to you. When I was 8 years old, I'll never forget this. Okay, this is what fathers do. All right, we all went to a steak restaurant, right? My dad loved steak, so he took us all to a steak restaurant. We sat there, had a great steak, and my dad left a tip. Okay. We all go to walk away from the table, and I went back to the table and took the tip from the top of the table. Okay. My dad caught me, made me put the tip back, explained to me, you don't do that or whatever. But when I got home, I got the beating of a lifetime. Okay. And that's what dads do, you know, where these kids can leave and go to another state and they know better, but they don't. And that's absence of fathers. You see it all the time. I used to go to summer camp through my church when I was younger as well. We would get sent off for 3 weeks, no parents, just staff. Everybody behaved themselves. Because at the end of the day, we knew if I didn't, my mom was going to wear me out like a car tire. Okay? And they don't have any of that anymore. That's why you see stuff like this, where they go to another state and they feel like they can just steal and this and that, and somebody's going to look the other way. But in Florida, we don't look the other way. You take 2 grand worth of stuff, we're going to lock you up. All right. You step on my property and you go to steal something off my property, you might get shot. You know, this is how we deal with people in Florida. So for whatever other people from other states, y'all may deal with your criminals a different way, but down here you either gonna walk righteously, okay, or we gonna mess around and arrange a meeting between you and your creator. And that's just how we do business in red states. So you're gonna come down here, you're gonna get plenty of southern hospitality, everybody's gonna be nice to you and smile and greet you and everything's cool. But the second you step out of line, you're gonna get spanked. Okay. And that's how you got to keep people in line in this day and age, because I'll give you a prime example. Earlier today, I went to the gas station to fill up the tank on my on my truck. It takes about $80. Okay. I'm sitting out there, I'm pumping, I'm at about 30. This guy comes walking out and he's packing a pack of cigarettes. All right. While he's walking to his vehicle, which is on the other side of my pump. Now, mind you, my pump's been running, smells like fumes everywhere. Next thing I know, I don't even see the guy, but next thing I know, I see smoke. Like, just, like leaving the pump. And I'm like, bro, is this dude smoking? And like, I lean over, I'm like, bro, you may not care about your life, bro, but I care about mine.
Mhm.
You can't smoke at the pump, bro, because it's not the actual gasoline that catches on fire. It's the fumes,
Yeah.
But this is the ignorance, man. Dude, we have kids walking around here with IQs that's room temperature. And we expect what from them? Please tell me, because I expect nothing.
Shout out to I think this is Brodo coming through with the $2 super chat. Says smile, Crystal. Uncle Ro is happy.
I'm always
Crystal,
happy.
I'll give you the next word. What are your thoughts?
I agree with you, Wise. I somewhat agree with Ro. I definitely do agree with you, Wise. If those kids were in, if they had any kind of respect for their coach, they wouldn't have even made any kind of moves like that. If they respected their coach, if they understood the idea of team and what it means to be a team and what we're trying to do for our city, they would have never done that. But they lack a respect for their coach. They lack respect for whatever the coach was teaching them. And I can say that as someone who was an athlete. And I can say when coaches they instill certain things within you, even if your home life is a wreck, the people that are out there that is like your mentor, as far as like coaches, when you're on a team, they instill something different in you. So the fact that they were out there and they were actually stealing and jeopardizing their chances at what they were trying to win and accomplish and all that, that says something. I said I partially agree with Ro because yeah, it probably is the homes. They probably had single mothers, but again, I won't always say it's always necessary them just being single mothers, because there are 2-parent homes where people act like nowadays like they ain't got common sense. Today's, because Ro was thinking about yesteryear. Yesteryear is very different than parents today. There are 2 parents homes where they're teaching their children crap. they have their children, their parents. I have seen parents that bring in their kids as mother and father coming into the stores, stealing with their children. So that tells you it's not just it's not a single parent type of situation. It is the morality of people nowadays. The morality of people is ridiculous. And because we live in a society where everyone lacks accountability. They do not want to take accountability for anything. So the coach is like, let's just let them pass. It's okay. They stole 47 items. I know, but we trying to They have to face what they did. There are consequences for their actions. And this is the problem. People like to skate past that. And so you have a coach that doesn't believe in accountability. Who knows what their home is like? They don't believe in accountability. And that is why the children are the way that they are. Now, like I said, single parent home or not, because when my son was home and my daughter was home, that wooden spoon went everywhere with me. Okay, that wooden spoon was in my purse always. Act like you ain't got no sense. See what's gonna happen. See what's gonna happen. We will disappear in the bathroom, and you'll come back out right. I don't play, and I'm a single mom, but we don't play that game. Exactly. No soft parenting around here. We do real parenting around here. And nowadays, people do a lot of soft parenting. So I blame the parents and I blame the coach.
Celeste, what are your thoughts?
So the late great Walter Williams said, and he specifically was talking about education, but it applies here as well. He said 4 things must be present for education to occur. And the first was someone has to be there to wake the child up at night. Someone has to be there to put the child to bed in the evening. Someone has to be there to make sure the child does their homework, and someone has to be there to make sure the child minds the teacher. And he asked the question, who is capable of doing that? Can government fulfill those 4 things that must occur for education to happen? So if you take the last one, which is that someone must be there to make sure that the child minds the teacher, the same applies for the coach. It is because the child doesn't have any respect for the authority at home, which is why the child does not have any respect for the authority outside of the home, which is why they can be caught on camera stealing, wilding out, acting a plumb fool. If they had any respect for authority at home, they would not behave this way. I loved the sheriff, but I wish the sheriff would have gone a step further. I am tired of seeing pictures of these criminal children as if they are adults. Show their parents, shame their parents, put their parents up there and ask their parents in front of the community that their parents live in, why doesn't your child respect you enough to behave differently out here? We have got to stop coddling parents and treating children like they are adults. Every time you see a child committing a crime, there's no one standing with that child. They let these parents be in the background, and they let the child stand in the front as if they're their own individual of age self. They're not. Their behavior they are not those people. Their parents must be brought in and brought to the public. Now watch, when the child is a victim of something, then the parents are standing right beside them. And especially if there's any money to collect, they have no problem finding the parents then. But as soon as the child is the criminal or the perpetrator of the crime, he gets to stand alone, and the parents basically get to go on and live their life as if, untouched and unblemished by their child's behavior. Stop putting up pictures of these children. Show their parents.
Does anybody want to, add anything to that or refute?
Don't whoop the kids, whoop the parents. Don't whoop the kids, don't whoop the kids, whoop the parents.
Listen,
It's a long lost art.
Wise,
It's
I'm
a
whooping
long
everybody.
lost art.
Okay,
It's a
I'm
long
whooping
lost.
everybody.
No.
And
It's a
if
long
I'm the
art.
parent, listen, you ain't getting out of line because I'm slapping people to sleep. Okay, we're going old school. All right, where you go to sleep with the wet face. You know what I mean? And you wake up because
Crying
you've been
tears.
crying so much, your eyes stuck together, your eyelids stuck together in the morning. You think you blind. You just laying there. I can't see. Nah, it's because you've been crying all night. See, that's how you get them right. Because nowadays, this soft parenting, that's all you see. Parents want to be their kid's friend. Bro, your kid is not your friend. You know, they don't pay bills around your house. You know, they don't help out. They don't do nothing. You got to take care of them. So how is they your equal? Stop treating them like they your equal. They not your
Well,
equal.
your well, well,
You know
your
what I mean?
socialists and everybody, they put a wraps on that decades ago, and
Mhm.
it took me to now that I'm finding out everything. This has been the plan. That's why I say they play the long game. When they start, and I can't remember if I was in high school, what grade I was when the whole thing about you can't whoop your kids, no
Oh
corporal
no, no,
punishment.
no.
They was
That
telling the
that
kids
that don't
they
apply in
were
Spanish households. I'm
well, I
Spanish.
understand
I
that it
ain't
don't
black.
apply.
In
It don't
Spanish
apply in a
house,
lot of households, but what I'm saying is it don't apply in a lot of households. But you got to go. We were getting reprimanded wherever we stood, wherever the crime happened, or
Mhm.
the act happened. That's
Mhm.
where we got it. But now you can't do that in the grocery store because you got some white liberal Karen over there saying, "Oh my God," or somebody trying to call the people, or you got your kids that were trying to call and threaten
Oh yeah. Oh,
to
the kids
call
are
in on
calling.
parents. Oh
Yep.
yeah, call and threaten. So this started a long time ago because I remember my mom and I would hear the adults say, "You don't want me to do nothing with them now. Don't come calling me when they're in your courtroom." I remember these conversations happening. They want lawlessness. We are in Revelations. They like to say Jesus is on the way. No, he is here. He like up the street. He right up the street around the corner. The kids will turn against the adults. Right will be made to be wrong. Wrong will be made to look right. Like the Euphrates River dried up, war, all of it. Like we're here. So my thing now, I just say throw the whole culture away and start over with our babies. We got to start in the household, get these babies and get our different code. We got to get our minds right. Our kids, if they in their 20s, trying to get them together so they can raise their kids right.
Yep.
Arranged marriages. I'm with all of it now. I'm just
no,
want to
I
go
agree.
straight
I
Yeah,
agree
Bible.
with you on the end of days because Robert just came in looking like the devil. You ain't gonna lie. What's up, Robert, man? How you
What's up,
doing,
guys?
man?
I,
What's
I
up,
missed
brother?
y'all, man. I am
All
so
right.
sorry.
Boy,
what's
You
up with all
know,
boy,
that fire in your
I
background?
ain't
Or is
gonna
that,
lie,
is
you
that the
scared
Trump
me.
hair?
You scared me.
yeah,
You had me going a little pale there
That
for a
that's
second.
that's the Punisher mask. Is that the Donald Trump hat?
yeah, that's
Donald
his
Trump
hair.
hair?
Yep, his
You got
hair.
Uncle T looking all mean.
No, but Nikki was saying, I agree with everything Nikki was saying, and honestly, I think that and I hate to sound so soft, right? But I agree with Rolando in a sense that life is what I've learned. I've only, in the 40 years that I've been here in this earth, I've learned that there's a balance. You don't want to be too strict, but at the same time, you don't want to be too soft. So there's a difference between telling your kids something and then teaching them, and sometimes when we give these lectures, we don't really focus on teaching them the moment of their mistakes, right? And so what I've learned with my, daughters, um, basically there's a certain age that an ass beating, and I'm, excuse me for my language, but I came in listening to this and I'm like, oh, I know what you guys are talking about now. But there's a moment that you have to be you have to discipline them, but at the same time you can't just go and just smack them, right? You have to compose yourself, send them to their room or whatever, and then sit with them and tell them, look, you did this, this, and this. You're hurting my feelings because I love you. You were, and you tell them all this stuff. You tell them you love them. And at the same time, now, you get their attention and all that and their understanding. Now here comes the hard part. Now that you've calmed down and you've explained, I have to spank you. I have to spank you because even though you did this, and I forgive you for what you did. And you got to pray to God and ask forgiveness for God too. But there's a cause and effect in life, and you teach this them while they're small, you know, and later, by the time they're old enough, they won't do bad things no more, because you've gotten that. We're all like trees, right? We're growing. But if you have no foundation, you ever seen when they plant small trees, they put like 2 3 stakes or 2 stakes most of the times, and they have a wire holding that tree. Well, that's the parents. They're the stakes that's holding that tree straight. And if you're not adjusting it, it's going to curve one way. And then what happens when a tree's full grown and it's curved? I mean, only God can straighten that up. So let's avoid that moment, and let's correct it as small and teach them, spank them, ground them, and then hug them at the end and say, I'm only doing this because I love you and I want you to learn from this. Because
That was the.
I got a
I'm sorry.
question.
I'm sorry.
I,
That was
I got
the
a
worst
question
part
because
of
y'all
my
going off the
book.
rails. This particular situation, and you know, Michonne, is there any hope for
No.
these young people? There's no hope.
No. And that was nice of Robert to say about the parenting, but a parenting has been pushed to the side. Nobody has to parent anymore. All they have to do is produce a kid.
Oh yeah.
As long as the kid is alive, as long as the kid is alive, then that's enough. It seems. So that's really the problem, that they don't have any discipline. I just wanted to say that this is not their first time. So the way that they came in there, they're already old hat at what they were doing. So the odds are that the coach knows that they already have probably a record. Not only will they have to forfeit the game, but they could conceivably be in more trouble once they get home, allegedly. But I would put I put money on that. And so then that means that they're going to be in more trouble. The parents don't want to deal with it because parents just don't have to parent anymore, because it's just not a requirement. I don't disagree with what you're saying. But even when you all were talking about, if you try to discipline in public and they'll call and then they'll be held accountable, there's that, which I don't even think that matters, because I've been saying hold the parents accountable, especially when they're minors. I don't understand why that's not a thing. It's not like these are people who are out here in the world producing something for society. There's someone that's in charge of them. And if you don't make them accountable, then they're never going to make these kids accountable, because they're just like, okay, whatever, and then wait for it to happen again, unfortunately. And it's Philly. Sorry, Philly, but it is what it is.
Hey, Wise, I never really got hit in public. All right. That wasn't a thing in our house. All right. Whether we were in a supermarket or something like that. And the only place my mom ever hit us in public was in church.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I got slapped one time in church. I just heard some anonymous dude say hallelujah. And I was just like, what going on, man? You know what I mean? But that's the only place I ever got hit in public. You know what I'm saying? Outside of that, it was always wait till we get home. And in the Spanish house, you knew better not to snitch. You better not call nobody but God. All right. Because, bro, if you hit that CPS hotline, you are really done. You thought it was bad before, all right? You don't even want to see what the aftermath going to be like. So that was never a thing. You just wore it and you went on your way. But these kids nowadays, they feel emboldened to be able to call CPS on their own parents, and that kind of stuff. I don't know where that boldness came from. Maybe it was from these liberal schools, putting that into their head.
It's the indoctrination in the schools.
Exactly, because
they're being told that they can do this. I know someone that this just happened to, like right before Thanksgiving. Young lady got caught sneaking out the crib. Her mom caught her, tore that tail up. Mind you, this is an 8th grader, and she called the police. And right before Thanksgiving, mom went to jail. Yeah, this happened right before, and she got out of jail Thanksgiving morning.
But
this is real.
You see the progression, because we just talked about this a few weeks ago about capital punishment. Me and you went to, and maybe some other people on the panel went to school when there was still capital punishment. We've gone from that to this liberal stuff you see now, where kids are calling, CPS on their own parents. You know what I mean? And that's happened
Yeah, but
in
the
what,
teachers
a
were different. The
40-year
teachers were a
span?
different breed back in the day
Yeah,
as well.
yeah, I
I
agree.
mean, today's teachers, in comparison to the teachers that we had, in the 80s and 90s, I mean, honestly, there's no comparison, to be honest with you. There's no comparison.
So just imagine if we don't get a hold of these kids that's going into the field, the ones coming out of college that's going to be teachers and in all these fields, and we know that this ideology, this mindset, which across the board is messed up. But even if we just talk about the kids crime, because it's all going to lead to the same thing, poverty, they're going to be in the schools. Like for me, that's why I'm trying to get myself in a position. I got 2 smaller ones left that I really just want to pull them out of that system and homeschool them, because I've had to have meetings at schools. I've had for talking politics when they were like in the 3rd grade. I've had to go up there because there was a book sent home. That's when I found out that the board didn't even have to approve books that teachers was bringing into school. I just assumed that they all had to be like verified or whatever. Well, I know that now. So that's kind of how I got on my, like a part of my journey. Like, you hiding stuff, our people don't know what's going on. We so worried about buying clothes, going out, smoking, and then going to church just to be going because somebody told you to go. And you don't know what's going on around you. The world is falling apart. You got Christians being persecuted,
Yeah.
kids out of control. And meanwhile, we just running around trying to find the best lace front for Friday. I'm old, like I'm so irked with it.
I
Hey,
love it.
Wise.
Thanks for
Hey, Wise, we need to
bro,
take
hold on
out
a
an
second.
ad and hire
Hold up,
some
bro.
professional-
Bro, I
Hold up, bro.
think Joshua wanted to get in, but because he's delayed behind, he didn't get to thing.
Oh,
Because he can't
okay.
hear. He can't hear you.
Let me see if I can unmute him.
Because he's delayed.
Yeah, you did. You got. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
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 All right, cool. As a person that worked in the schools, it is almost depressing to see at least where the Black community is right now. I feel like we should take what Auntie Nikki said, but I almost think we should just make our own colony somewhere, buy some land, and just start all the way. Just start over. Just get some money, start some land. We got our own rules. We got our own everything. Because right now, kids don't have no. They don't. I mean, they're not losing anything. These cats drove all the way somewhere else to go steal from a store. And how far is that from where they from? Like, does anybody know how far? Like,
It's gotta be at
act,
least
so you
1,000
had
miles.
the brains
it's
to
straight up
plan this
95.
out, but you didn't have the brains to do anything else better than what you were doing. Y'all got together and decided to steal, but you didn't have the brains. So obviously it's a hereditary thing. Your parents, you was gone that long. They didn't know. They didn't ask you. They ain't tracking. So the only solution, unless you burn all these kids up, which is not going to happen. I heard a comedian say you got a whole flock of failure over here. We might as well we got to start over. And I'm a fan of whoopings. I said the N word in class one day. The teacher called my mom. She came up and slapped me this way and came back with a slap. And the teacher took a step back and let her do what she was going to do. And I appreciate that. My mom was not scared to do whatever she needed to do in the moment and wherever it was going to be. And she'll slap you for telling her not to slap me. God rest her soul. God bless her. The parenting that we have today, they rather argue with the teachers or the authority about what they feel instead of what's right. So, and this is not just in Ohio, this is in Philly, this is everywhere. We really need to start over. We can't go back to Africa because I've been seeing everybody say these Americans have been going over to Africa thinking things are going to be better. And the Ghanaians are basically telling them to go back to America. So
they've been wanting to come back to America.
Hey, I'm sorry, John.
So they
but
thinking
I
they
ain't
was gonna
buying
get
no
over there
property
and get with the
on
motherland
your
and
land.
everything's gonna be better. And they realizing no, you're still American. You're not whatever you thought you was, and you don't have dual citizenship. So we really need to find. I think we all vote wise to be president of this new continent that we about to
Nope.
make.
I don't want no parts of that,
Hey,
man.
you know what? I was
No,
I was
I
a
don't
part
want
But
to
of
that's
go
all I
to
got to
Josh
say.
land.
I was on the conversation where somebody said, it was speaking on the behavior of black people in general, and I'm taking it in a different direction, but this is what the conversation was, and the person that I was talking to said we only need 10%. We only need 10%. Let the other people, and I'm making this joke about this, but I am very much a disciplinarian, very much so, and in my household. I can call someone right now that was in my household before I moved out, and they will say that I was the disciplinarian for anybody in the house. So, and that's the ultimate reason why things are in such disarray. There's a lack of discipline, and children are a reflection of their upbringing. Children are a reflection of their parents.
Yep.
So you can, and this is why I give so much praise to Charleston White as much as people like to hate him because of his rhetoric in the media and all that stuff and all the antics that he does. He has written philanthropic work with children specifically because he knows the impact that what he's doing has on children in the long run. People have all this smoke for him, but he has documented proof as to his philanthropic work towards children specifically. And I've been meaning to say that for a while, but no, man, it's and this is why it is a genuine battle for me in this conversation to punish the child or punish the parent. Does the child need a whooping or does the parent need a whooping?
Both.
Both.
Yeah, it's an and.
Both.
It's not an or. It's an and. It's and.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's the both.
Or both with the F, BOF. Both of them.
I think we should hold the parents accountable for what these kids do. That would change that real quick.
No,
But
I
the
like
problem
Celeste's
is,
idea. I mean, they brought the pictures up. I think, yeah, definitely. I mean, it's the same thing, out here, in the DMV area. You got the same type of foolishness, happening. Kids cutting up and acting a fool. And Celeste, you're absolutely right. You were up there in DC. You'll see the kids, get perp walk, and you'll hear about the kids, but you won't hear about their parents. And these kids are out at 11, 12 o'clock at night committing crimes. And what happened to the PSA that used to come on, at 10 o'clock? Do you know where your children are?
Yep.
Kids are out here just running amok. And even in this situation, there is no way that my middle school age kid is going on a trip. One, that I'm not going on. But two, they're going to be able to get in an Uber and go somewhere else without me knowing. Like, are y'all crazy?
Yeah,
No way.
The coaches was probably somewhere doing whatever. Just they wasn't being supervised. Apparently they got up way early before the game. And I can imagine they probably wanted mouth guards, what my sons and them call it, they football drip, all this stuff. They made this plan, but we were just talking about this on my panel about holding the parents accountable. Should it be like first offense or multiple offenses if the child, once you get to the point of where you holding the parent accountable, because also you got sneaky kids too. So
what does that mean to hold
look?
a kid? What does that mean to hold the parents accountable for a child's behavior? What does that mean?
I think it would probably have to start off as probably
citation.
Fines.
Yeah, citations.
Yeah, citations, fines. I think court appearances, which is annoying in itself.
Okay, just playing devil advocate though. You get somebody out there saying, "Hey, it's a tax on the poor. These are poor kids. This is a poor single mom. Now you're going to fine them. It's going to be you're going to make things tougher than what it already is, for this poor lady,
Well, I can tell you from experience. If you like. When I was in high school, I decided y'all don't be judging me because we already talking about the duffel bag. Y'all already got the duffel bag story of Krista. Y'all got a lot of stories, so don't be judging your girl.
I missed out.
When I was in high school, I found myself cutting class a lot. Let's just say,
I'm telling Jesus,
if you were supposed to be in school 250 days, I was in school 90 days. Let's just put it that. Let's just do that type of math. And they basically, because my parents were working, again, that's why I said it doesn't matter. I know Uncle Ro was talking about, single parents. I had both parents, I had grandparents, I had everybody. I just knew how to maneuver the situation at the time. And when the letter came home that if I cut class again, they were going to arrest my parents, and they actually got it to my parents, because I would try and intercept all the information so it never got to my parents. When it got to them, it didn't matter I was in high school or not, my butt was lit up. And they moved me straight out of New York to a whole nother state to get my life in order. But it was knowing that they could face time in prison for me not doing what I was supposed to do. So the fines, I agree, or even them facing time in prison for what their children are doing might shake them up. Now you really need to parent. Like, this is no joke, because now you about to get me locked up for your foolish decisions. That I think
lose their benefits, that might help too.
Yep, make no more benefits to buy them lace fronts, like Auntie Nikki and Michonne were talking about. No more lace fronts.
Messy Michonne. You trying to get them? You trying to send them into a downward spiral?
You ain't got no weed budget.
You can't sell them stamps for that $40 bus.
Yeah, all of it. No, that should be the threat. That should be the
that is a good one. I did not think of the benefits.
And you know something? Crystal grew up in New York. I grew up in New Jersey, and we grew up about the same time. She was born in 80. I was born in 80. All right, let me tell you, Crystal grew up where I grew up. We be running them project buildings together. All right, she knows she loves some of this Puerto Rican right here.
Celeste, I know you wanted to add something. Go ahead, Celeste.
Hold up. Why? Let me tell my story right quick. Let me tell my story. Because I tell you now that she's been saved, now she want to rebuke me. You know what I'm saying? When back in the 80s, she would have loved me. All right. Just
in the 80s, y'all were in kids. Y'all shouldn't even been thinking like that, bro. What are you talking about?
Guys, thank you. I was not playing like that when I was a kid.
Rolando, y'all could have ate rice and beans out the same bowl.
Celeste, you're supposed to be my sister, Celeste. What are we doing, Celeste? What are we doing, Celeste?
Because look, if you think I got the baby face now,
such a nice picture.
If you think I got the baby face now, you should have caught me in the 80s. I really had the baby face then. I'd have went ahead and put that Riz on her. And let me tell you, she'd have been out of there. You know, now I put the Riz on her and then brought her over to the house, fed her, some rice and beans and a little coquito.
Celeste and Wise, we are going to have a meeting later, Celeste and Wise. We're going to have a meeting later on about this.
I apologize. But Wise, you said something about basically saying that would be a tax on the poor. First of all, I'm fine with that, but I think what we really have to do is say, no, that's a tax on behavior. It's not a tax on the poor. It's a tax on behavior. And you could actually go to the public with that and say, we are taxing people who are poorly behaved, regardless of their socioeconomic status. So if you're wealthy and you behave poorly, your parents are paying a tax. Now, then the question people can say is, well, that won't hurt the wealthy as much as it will hurt the poor. Well, in fact, nothing in life hurts the wealthy as much as it hurts the poor. So unfortunately, we can't fix all of the circumstances that come in life. But what we can do is provide, to the best of our ability, a way that people who own stores or who shop in stores or who live in neighborhoods and who ride buses and walk streets and go to and from school can have safety as a normal experience as a part of their quality of life. We have got to stop saying we are going to give up these things on behalf of these wilding out children. And Thomas Sowell said that basic economic theory is that what you tax, you get less of, and what you subsidize, you get more of. So the fact that we are not subsidizing we're not taxing bad behavior is why we're getting more of it. Until we find a way to tax it, and it doesn't necessarily have to be in the official formal tax, with in the tax system that you pay at the end of the year. Maybe there are other ways to do it, but the fact of the matter is we have got to stop rewarding bad behavior because that makes us complicit.
All righty, a couple super chats I want to read. We'll keep it moving. Let's see here. All right, shout out to Supreme, been a member for 17 months. One of you guys. Those children behave like their mothers. All right. Shout out to the Energizer Bunny coming through with the $10 super chat. Says, bless their little hearts, thinking they can get away with that. Ask Ro what that means. Okay. I think we got that. Shout out to Brodo coming through with the $2 super chat. Says, yes, sir. Is it Chihu from Oahu? Stay blessed. Okay. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. And shout out to the Energizer Bunny coming through with the $2 super chat. Says, you want hope for the future. Meet my 12-year-old. Okay. Appreciate the super chat, bro. Let's keep it moving. I'm not 100% sure if this is a skit, but I found this right here, and I want to know if you guys have an issue as the snap crackdown continues.
News, breaking news. If you have a BBL, lipo, veneers, tummy tuck, guess what? Donald Trump said you can no longer file taxes, receive food stamps, Section 8, housing, WIC, or any type of government assistance starting March 2026. Because if you have money for all of those things, you got money to pay your rent, get you some groceries, and all of the above. And I feel like that's actually a good ass idea, and you can't file taxes either. Starting March 2026. Yeah, y'all be spending all this money on these BBLs. If you got $20,000 for a BBL, you can pay your rent up. You can buy you some groceries. You don't need the government.
Alrighty. We'll give it to you, Nikki. What are your thoughts? I don't know if this is true. Is this true? Is this factual? Y'all heard this?
Nah, I don't even know if Donald Jaquavius Trump would like a bust down, or he know what BBLs and cosmetic surgery. I don't think he said that, but I get it, and it's basically just what we were saying. I was just thinking about that the other day. I was at the mall. You're just out, just a lot of different places, and I was thinking about the whole food stamp thing and how they was whining, the children are going to be hungry. Oh my God. And I'm just looking around like they not broke. They are not broke. They still at the mall. They still at the bar. They still at the restaurants, kicking it up. They still everywhere. They still, Black Friday was like, everybody was out.
Oh yeah, Black Friday was booming.
Yeah, Black Friday was popping. I didn't even know we were supposed to be boycotting, but whatever. Yeah, so yeah, get rid of all of it. I love the fact, because when I was coming up, I was on government assistance because I had my daughter young, like a lot of us. That's when Clinton put those stipulations in place. We had to physically, you could only be on there 5 years total to get the cash assistance. So it wasn't consecutive, it was just total. 5 years total. In order to get your stamps, you had to physically take in a job search sheet and show your physical case manager, not the phone lady, a physical case manager that you actually tried to go find a job. And you have to do that every single week. What made me know that that was not the life for me is because I don't like people in my business. You get tired of doing that. You want to do better. Who can live off $234? So I don't even understand where the mind. I think some people just got it and they don't, like, internally where that mindset comes from, because assistance should be a leg up, not out. And you should use it as such. And nobody should feel good about themselves being on government assistance when you can't even live a good quality of life, but you want all these things like lipo or bust downs and going out or whatever you like to do. So, like I said, I know we still in persecution. I think we still walking in the wilderness. You got a bunch of hypocrites and Jezebels in the church. So nobody go to the church. They lost faith in the church, the physical building of the church. But then that gave them leeway to go out and find other avenues to try to figure out the truth once you figure out everybody's lying. But then that's dangerous too. So then you got them taking God out the church. So, I mean, the bottom line is we just in a spiritual war. And once we realize that and know how to fight it, it's not going to work. Like nothing we do, nothing we say is not going to work because it's all planned. And anybody that know that book or know a little bit about the book, we know how the story ends. So that's the only hope I actually got. Michonne said it wasn't no hope. I don't think it's hope for this set of people.
Yes.
But I do think that I think he's doing a hard reset right now. I really feel like God is doing a hard reset. He pushed the reset button, and that's why you see so much seem like chaos going on in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But it's actually everything realigning back up. That's why we're having these conversations now. That's why you see a lot of the conversation. I'm gonna call them concubines. They call it polygamy. You see a lot of conversations coming up about arranged marriages now, how to get our kids together, trying to get these young people to get married earlier, be a wealth. So, I mean,
I agree with you. I'm speaking specifically like about kids like that because that's some of the stuff that I cover regularly. And it is usually if somebody does come out, it's a woman, it's an auntie, it's a granny, but it's never a man. So there's never any men around, which I think is an issue. So I don't disagree with arranged marriages. And unfortunately, people weaponize their children. They don't want them to see their father. So I think that's definitely a big part of it. So, and I used to dole out benefits, so I know exactly what you're talking about, which is why people having a fit right now about having to do 20 hours for food stamps. I just don't understand what the hoopla is about that. Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you want to? Like, why wouldn't you want to? He's not even saying you have to work.
Right.
He said you can go volunteer.
They could
go to school. Once I
Right.
went, and this just a little bit about myself, because I was on assistance and I'm like Crystal, baby. When I say I wasn't trying to be up in there, as soon as that bell rung, I was out the other door. And so I get it. I ended up getting my GED after I had kids and everything. So I ended up getting my GED. But once I got that, I got it just so I can get a regular job because people had started requiring that you have a diploma. Oh yeah, I'm like, okay, I got to go do something. But once I had an epiphany one day and I was like, what I'm going to do next? And I realized I could literally do whatever my heart desires right now because I have this. And once that switch flipped up, it wasn't no stopping me. So I just think that because they're going to go, I don't think they're not going to do it. They're going to get their benefits. So they're going to figure out something to do. And I think once they start volunteering, going to school, figuring out what they're going to do with themselves, we need hope. People are hopeless. They just like hopeless. Well, they don't. And then you got this, you raised with this oppression victim mindset. So then you got your household telling everybody, your whole community telling you how hard it's going to be and what you can and can't do and can't say. You can't even be out the box. You can't even like country music and be around your own people. You get ostracized. So it's just a whole mess. And I'm just, I don't know.
Well, it's not hopeless. I mean, I got hope. You know what I'm saying? Because
no, I mean the people that we see that we talk to. I see. I'm
actually really excited about this. You know, if it's true, because I don't know if it's true or not. But if it is true, let me tell you, there's gonna be a lot of hungry women out there, and your boy gonna be out there next to the taco truck. Listen, holla at your boy, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be feeding all types of women. You know what I'm saying? And giving out free T-shirts. All right. So y'all bring y'all hungry butt down
Look at
there.
Celeste.
You know what I'm saying? Make sure you bring your BBL. You know, and all that. You know, we gonna get some tacos. And like my boy, you know, Wise is talking about, we gonna go ahead and do the do. I'm gonna bring the jungle
Yeah,
cat
bring me
with
in
me.
this.
You know what I'm saying? Don't make me show you the jungle cat. He gonna be live. He gonna be out there rizzing, because it's about time that they realize that they need men. You know what I'm saying? It's been too much social programs out there
Yep.
giving them a false sense of entitlement and empowerment that is not realistic. Okay, and they've been turning their nose up at the average Joe, the average blue collar guy, like they better. All right, now y'all finna be out in them streets hungry. All right, and a blue collar guy like myself. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Listen, this is the truth. Blue collar guys are in the street. We are celebrating. All right, because there's gonna be tons of tacos and fornication going on. All types of Netflix and chilling. Man, it's gonna be anarchy in these streets. Why? There's gonna be so many babies made. This is gonna be like the baby boom after World War II, bro. You know what I'm saying? There's gonna be babies being made everywhere, bro. And then Joshua gonna go ahead and potty train them. You know what I'm saying? Because he got some making up to do. So why these are great days to come, bro. And if you a single man out here, earning 50, 60,000, bro, it is time to celebrate. Okay? Celebrate tomorrow at work, high five, do all that stuff, man. We celebrate BBLs for everybody. You know what I'm
And
saying?
you got me bringing up the word discipline. Come
That's
here.
how we doing.
Come here.
Yeah.
Come here.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody look at the negative side of the news,
Saying.
bro. You gotta look for the positive, bro. And then the positive, everybody was talking about we ain't producing enough babies. You know what I'm saying? And all that. All we gotta do is get these women off of government assistance. Baby boom, bro. Instant. Just like that.
Hopefully not.
I would have to
Yeah,
say that
man.
I would not look or believe
I'm
anything
telling you,
what the positive one says, though.
listen. Between alimony getting done away in Florida, between the SNAP being taken down, the way it is, let me tell you something, man. Marriage is gonna be lasting 50 and 60 years now. Okay,
Yeah,
it's gonna be a
50-50
bunch of
custody,
kids.
50-50 custody, in a
Yeah,
multitude of
man.
states now. And you're
Yep.
starting to see that matriculate across the country. That's
Yep.
huge
See,
right there.
somebody
Yep.
said, dude, it's hard to stay together. They used to say it's hard for rich people to stay together because it's hard to be with somebody when you don't need their half of the rent. You know what I'm saying? Well, if you do the opposite in this situation, everybody gonna need everybody because there ain't gonna be no social net out there. So you better go ahead and play your game of musical chairs. You better get you a chair. You better get you a chair because once the music stops, you're gonna be out in the cold.
Well,
Real
there's a lot of
cold out there.
incentives, out there. I mean, some of it is, the time limit that they've put out there. I think it's 2 years now, on Section 8 or housing of some sort, and
Yep.
the cutback on the SNAP benefits and things of that nature. I mean, they're trying to incentivize people to get back together and to
Yep.
start having kids. I mean, we're obviously well below the rate of replacement. I think everybody knows this. We've
Yep.
discussed this
Yep.
on the channel on a multitude of occasions, but you look at the what is that? The Trump accounts with the $1,000. They just announced
Yep.
that if you have a kid that's 10 years or younger, your kid's going to get $250 in their account just to try to help catch them up. So they're trying to incentivize,
Man, I got one more
people getting married. They're trying to incentivize that and trying to incentivize people to have children because, yeah, we need it. We need it. Celeste, I know you want to
And
get
they
in
should
there.
do a tax credit for that too.
I would assume. Well, I mean, we just had the largest, or the one of the highest tax cuts that we've had, in the history of the
No,
country.
I was saying like for married couples.
I
Like
would
if
like
they
to see
did
more
something like
incentives.
that.
Absolutely, more
Yeah,
incentives.
like-
Seriously, I would love to see that. Celeste.
Yeah, I think what's kind of interesting about this, what's really while I appreciate Rolando's exuberance about the possible starvation of women being the catalyst for the freak train that he's been waiting for, I'm not
Tacos
necessarily
and fornication.
yes, for the taco fornication fest. I'm not exactly sure that it's
Celeste,
gonna work.
Celeste, you ain't right, girl. You ain't right.
I'm not exactly sure it's going to work because unfortunately, what's going to happen is, as you said, you've got these working class good men. Now let's go ahead and see what's actually behind that. That's somebody who's gotten themselves a skill, who's learned something and been able to perform it long enough and well enough that they've been able to create some stability on their job, which has allowed them to create some stability in their life. That guy is not going to be able to go down to the bus down facility BBLs on discount and pick up a woman, because all of the things that you've done and that you will need in someone to sustain that life, she is going to be somebody who will tear that apart. So that group, as wonderful, and I'm sorry to hurt your heart with this, but as wonderful as it and the plentifulness that they may be, I'm not sure that you're going to be able to bring them home and continue to build with them. Now, here's your problem. The problem is that the working class woman who's making $50,000, $60,000 a year, who might actually has also performed her job and has enough skill that she's been able to be there long enough to create stability in her life. The problem is getting her to want to go ahead and marry and join up and create a family and all of that with you. That's where the issue is. I don't think that you're going to be able to go ahead and get a bus down and that's going to make you too happy for too long. But I want to say this. I will come to the nuptials and I wish you well.
Celeste, you had me just, oh man. You had me rolling. You got me on that one. I'll give you that. You got me good.
Well, Wise, as much as we would all like for that to be true, what we just heard about, unfortunately, no. I was checking it right now with Grok. No, it's if you have BBLs, you still or any type of cosmetic, you still can get benefits. But here's the good thing about what the requirements are. They expanded work requirements. Well, able-bodied adults from 18 to 65. They have to at least work for 20 hours plus. And then they also made it to where it's no longer just federal, it's a state cost sharing mandate, meaning that states must cover 10 to 25% of those benefits. And the other thing that you guys were just touching on, it's the forced reapplication and fraud crackdown, which is making them having to reapply every quarter for SNAPs benefits. That's huge because some of the people would, and I know some, I'm gonna be guilty. I know I've heard people, what they do is, they'll apply when they're out of work and then they'll go back and then, whenever it's time they get laid off. And it just, so now if it's every quarter, you can't kind of do that now. The other thing that I wanted to touch base on is that a lot of, how they were saying rumors that now you couldn't buy junk food with SNAP or with
that's state to state.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was gonna say. It's actually state to state. Different, like the state of Texas is basically all junk food's gone. No soda, nothing, no chips, nothing. But it's state to state, which is, hey, I'll take that as a win.
I was gonna say, what y'all think about that? The snack thing.
I used to work retail, and I seen people paying for Pepsis and chips and Snickers with their link card, and I was absolutely disgusted.
Well,
you didn't want them to have a Snicker bar with a chicken.
What you want? Chocolate covered chicken? I'm cool with that.
Well, the kids can have a Twinkie. I think I don't know. I get it because it goes into the whole medical and Medicaid, and now you're unhealthy and all. I'm with you,
Nikki.
But I was thinking, because I try to be fair. I'm trying to help the kids. The kid is not their fault. They could get a Twinkie. So what about like a monthly cap on junk food? A $40 cap on junk food.
But Nikki,
can I give you a quick example right quick? This is how I shop in my house. Okay. I used to be on food stamps younger. You know, my family was on food stamps younger. This is back in the day when they actually had the booklets, you know, and paper money. But now this is how I shop. Basically, I buy all my meat in bulk. Okay. I go down to the restaurant depot and I buy my meat in bulk, about 500-600, and then all I buy is fruits and vegetables. I don't buy candy. I don't buy sugary drinks. Every once in a while you see me drink a Sprite or you see me drink a Diet Coke or something like that. But outside of that, you can't find sugar in my house. All right. So if I can do it, they can do it as well. You know, there's no
No, I'm not saying
reason.
it can't
No,
be
no,
done,
it's
but you
not.
don't
It's
like
not from my.
sweets.
No, but
Do you
it's
not
not
like
from.
sweets?
No, it's not that. What I'm saying is the number one thing that needs to be taught, because kids are gonna get their sweets. All right. I used to pick up little side jobs so I could go to the corner store and buy my sweets. You know, so kids are gonna find a way to get the sweets. There was never sweets in my house. That's the point I'm trying to make. You know, my mom didn't buy sweets because we couldn't afford to buy sweets. You know, if you wanted anything sweet, you had to go cut a yard. You had to go trim some trees. You had to go hustle up. You know, when I was in Jersey, we had a golf course right across the street. We
So it
would
was a
go to the
luxury.
golf course. No. Literally, Weekway Park. Look it up in Newark, New Jersey. It ain't like, you know, this ain't like a cool area. All right. But they
No,
had a
I
golf
mean going
course
back to
there.
Wise asking about what's a luxury when we was a kid, and I'm
And
hearing
it
that
was, yeah, it
you
was second
getting
helpings, you know, in my
some
house.
chips.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is we had all these little hustles that we had where we could run to the store, grab a bag of chips. We could run to the store, grab penny candy or 5-cent candy. You know what I mean? So kids are gonna find little ways to get their sweets. We looking between couch cushions for change. All that stuff. You know. So there was never a need for my mom to have a bunch of sweets in the house. So when Snap decided and say, you know what, y'all just taking this too far, you know, I understood it. You know, it didn't matter to me because at the end of the day, the biggest problem is these women can't cook.
Yeah,
They
and
I
you know
can't
the
cook. Everything is dino nuggets, chicken nuggets,
the
deep
yeah.
thing is
fried,
that
this,
Hold up,
that. They
Rolando.
That's
can't cook.
And one of the things that people seem to forget is that food stamps, it says it's supplemental, which means that you should bring some money to it, but no one wants to do that. So if you want
bam.
junk, you can technically buy whatever junk that you want to, but they don't want to do that, which is why I'm a fan of cut it all the hell out. Sorry. Because
Yeah.
they forget that they're entitled to so much. And that's why they really were crashing out. So these people was crashing out for those 40 days and 40 nights, and the day didn't even come yet, and they were crashing out.
Yep.
And if you watch TikTok, we'll scroll TikTok, and these people show what they buy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Oh
just
yeah.
Yeah.
a haul,
Yep.
and it's crap.
Yeah.
It's even though it's not technically junk food, it's all crap. And then when with us Black people, with our inherited issues with our health, this does not help any of that. And then as soon as somebody is sick,
But
it's
that's
white people's fault. But it's like, but we're not taking accountability for what it is that we're putting in our bodies. And unfortunately, the SNAP people don't say this is how you should cook. They might give you a piece of paper, but they really don't tell you any of that. I'm not saying
but
that
they don't want to.
use.
They don't want to tell you
They don't want
because
to, because that's what
Pop-Tart,
they're consuming to cook.
that
fruit snacks.
that is. I mean, who's benefiting out of this? Because
The
you
food
got to
companies.
$30. I'm just playing.
yeah,
The food
who's
companies.
exactly, the food companies are benefiting out of this. That's why they were opposed to this. Why all these Democrats are opposed to this
Mhm.
because who let's take their voice to like Hillary Clinton. What she say? Follow the money. Follow the money. Who's making money out of this? They tricked us to think that, oh well, chips and this and that. If you notice, everybody that's in the food poverty area, right? They're eating all the unhealthy and, like Rolando says, these dino nuggets and all these chemical stuff, and it's all garbage. It's going to get you sick. And guess what? Now the government's saying, hey, we want to give you Obama health care where we take care of you. And it's just like, who's benefiting out of this? And it's crazy because it got everybody so twisted in the left where they're like, tax the rich, tax the rich. And here goes the rich people. Yeah, tax the rich. Yeah, let's tax them. Yeah, and they're not understanding why. And it's like, here's a clear example of that. I mean, Frito Lay is making a killing when food stamp is that's money guaranteed versus if we do it like how I think Missy was saying, like it was supplemental, meaning like, hey, the government should just take care of the essentials, like, the protein, the vegetables, the fruits, the natural sugars, right? And the artificial should be, hey, instead of you buying that 40 ounce or whatever you're into or whatever, you should, if you really care about buying your child the sneaker bars, then just buy that instead of your beer. You can't
Well, I mean,
have
I
your
think there
beer.
should be some form of incentive to get off of it.
Yeah.
The way that we've been doing things, allowing people, one, they're overpaying people, but two, they're also just allowing people to buy whatever. And, the more kids you have, the more money you get. And then I went down that rabbit hole on TikTok. I got a chance to see some of the biggest people out here in the country, and you look at their cart. Even here in my local area, you can tell the difference between working people who actually get a check and go grocery shopping and those that are on SNAP benefits. You can tell the difference. Most of our carts are spares. Their carts be filled to the freaking brim. You know what I'm saying? And more times than not, and sometimes, yeah, you're right. They'll have two carts and it be a bunch of junk. So maybe they need to be forced to eat healthy. Hey, meat, produce, things of that nature. You get some dairy products. I don't have a problem with that. And I mean, you got to think, all these people, I'm sure they drinking, they got their weed budget, so forth and so on. So if they can figure out how to buy all of that, you can figure out how to buy your kids, that little Debbie snack cake or Twinkie or whatever it is that you want to buy for them. You can figure that out as well.
So I will say, if going back to the original video, I wish that was a real thing, because if you could afford to do any and everything, then you could afford to buy your food. It's called priorities. Prioritize correctly. That's what you're supposed to do. And what I've seen a lot of people do with these SNAP benefits is, as we all know, they're selling their SNAP card. They get what they want. They're selling the rest of their benefits so they can get what they need. That's why when the SNAP benefits turn back on, my boy John Paul King did a whole video of them at the hair store when quote unquote that 40 days was over. They were all lined up that day when they said SNAP benefits was back on. All them ladies was back at the hair store. Why are you at the hair store? I thought you were hungry.
Exactly.
You at the hair store? Make that make sense, because now they can sell their benefits. And as you pointed out so correctly, our carts will look real regular, real scant. They are out there buying lobster. Listen, they can get caviar. I'm not eating caviar. I'm sorry. They're eating caviar.
It's not good.
Yeah,
Like but I'm just saying, they eating caviar. They eating.
Well, they definitely had a crab balls.
They have their
crab balls.
And that is not cheap, man.
They having all them things while we sitting down here like, okay, this month I'm gonna budget. I'm gonna get this and this. You know what? I think I can get a little extra. Maybe I can get. Can I get steak this month? Yeah, I'm gonna get steak this month. They sitting down here. Who wants 7 steaks? Let me get a couple of lobster tails, some crab. This is absolutely ridiculous. But then you whining because they said you need to work 20. Work what is it? 20 hours a week?
Yeah.
Or volunteer for 20 hours?
Yeah.
No, y'all got issues and problems.
Work, volunteer, or some form of schooling, trade, something along those lines.
All of them need to go ahead and re-up. Go back, re-up. Let's see what you really have, because we're not playing these fraudulent games. We're not playing these fraudulent games no more. We ain't funding your lifestyles. We ain't funding those 22 and 24 inches no more. We're not funding those. I need y'all to figure it out on your own.
Hey, Crystal, while we talking about food, listen, I need a good oxtail recipe. You know what I'm saying? I know you got that Trinidadian background. I know you know how to make some oxtail, girl. So after the show, you need to go ahead and email me a recipe or make me a how-to video or something like that. I need your help, because I bought this big old box of oxtails at the Restaurant Depot wholesale, but I don't know how to cook them. You know what I'm saying? I've been cruising all the reggae bars, trying to pick up a nice Jamaican woman, you know what I'm saying, and trick her into,
Oh, man.
Cause listen, man, I love Jamaican food, bro. You know, I love Trinidadian Caribbean food, bro. But I'm tired of paying $23 for some freaking oxtails, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's cheaper to just kidnap a Jamaican woman. You know what I'm saying? And just bring her to the house, bro.
You will
Cause this is
lose your
getting
entire life.
ridiculous.
You will
He always
lose,
says something good and then
Huh?
goes
What?
straight. You
you will
know?
lose your entire
So
life. You say you kidnapping a Jamaican
Yeah,
woman.
yeah.
You will lose your
I
entire
You can't
life.
know.
be incriminating yourself on the channel, bro. Like, what are you doing, man? Seriously.
Listen, what I meant was kidnapping her heart.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
See
yeah.
how y'all minds be
There you go.
wandering, bro. Y'all automatically just
Nice
go to the
save.
just
Shout
messiest
out to
place
Death
ever.
Reaper gifting 10 Messy Machine live memberships. Shout out to you, brother.
All right,
Appreciate
But
Reggie.
I
you.
do need that recipe though.
That's
I'm
okay,
good.
Rolando. I
I'm
stand
hurting.
behind you, bro. Call your girl, bro. Call Crystal. Call Crystal,
Hey,
bro. You
you
got
Hey,
it.
know
Spaces,
what I'm
Crystal
saying?
gonna beat on you, bro. She
I'm
gonna
putting
beat
out
on you.
I'm putting out the bat signal, you know what I'm saying? She ain't picking up. Listen, man, I need your help. You know what I'm saying? I need your help over here, man.
I
Oh,
I'm
was
man.
watching
hurting.
the other day.
You
Is
know
that
what
why you had
I'm
that suit on?
saying? Yeah, she killing me, man. She killing me. She got me paying $23 a plate for some oxtail when she could be making me some oxtail. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
man, this went from a recipe to make it for me. Golly,
I'm
dang.
saying
Well, I just
Okay.
need some help.
they
I'll
could
take
be
whatever I
saving
can get.
$23.
You know what I'm saying? I know Crystal got a sister too. If she can't make it, send the sister down here with the recipe. Don't be like that, man. I gotta do it. Man, you see
The
y'all sending me to
recipe,
deal with
the
these crazy
recipe is on my
Jamaicans.
channel. You can go find the recipe on my channel and figure it out.
All right, you gotta send me the link. I need that recipe, man. I'm
So
paying
Crystal,
$23
you
an
ain't gonna cook for your
oxtail.
man?
Huh? Dude,
I
they
am
charging
quite
me
single.
$23. They charging me
Spaces.
$23 a plate for oxtail, and then if I want sauce, they charging me for extra sauce. This is ridiculous, man. You know. And Wise, man, you gotta feel me, man. I'm sorry, dude. You know, I know this is a little off topic, but man, that oxtail good, man. It's
No,
good.
oxtails are good, and
Oxtails are
I
good.
don't
Yeah.
know if I have to feel you. If I want some oxtails, wifey, hook up some oxtails. I mean, we good.
See, you got
Exactly.
the oxtail hookup too?
Tell him
Just
wise.
saying.
Tell him.
Man, see,
He
Wise
got,
gotta
you
rub
see,
it in.
wise was wise. He found him a wonderful woman who can
Yeah,
take care.
he
He
wasn't
wasn't
at
at the bar.
the fornication
He,
festival.
Look,
exactly. He
y'all
was at
gonna
the taco fornication truck. He didn't go meet her
look,
at the taco fornication truck.
y'all gonna force
Okay.
me to get an oxtail and fornication shirt for next week. You know what I'm saying? Somebody don't send me a recipe. You know what I'm saying? And Wise, you my boy. So I expect you to be the first one to send a recipe, please. Wifey, if you in the
I can
chat,
arrange that. I
please,
can arrange a
yeah,
recipe for you,
please,
bro.
somebody send me a recipe, a video, something. Okay, a sample. Can I
Thank
get
you,
What's
something?
Zephyr
his
K9.
Poor people.
Thank you, Zephyr K9. That was the right answer. Yes.
How are we hating on poor people? Somebody say y'all want to hate on effing poor people. Cool, y'all will be in those shoes
Well,
soon. How are we hating
I
on
don't
poor
care.
people?
I don't
Hey
care.
man,
Like
listen,
the absolute
dude. We ain't
majority of
gonna have no bullies in the chat. I'm an equal opportunity basher. Okay, I bash poor people, rich people, ugly people, skinny people, fat people. Pick one. I don't care. I'll pick on you too. You know what I
The
mean?
point
That's
is,
just
we're
me.
not
I'm an
hating
equal
on them. They're not
opportunity
poor.
basher. If
Nikki,
you out there
Auntie
doing
Nikki, you want to
stupid
know why?
stuff,
Because
I'ma
when you tell
bash you.
people the truth, all of a sudden you're hating. You know, lies
Yeah,
is
it's
Yeah.
love.
like
Hating, but hate is truth. So when you tell the truth, you're hating. But when you lie, you clearly
and
love
and,
them.
oh
and
yeah,
unfortunately
that's true.
unfortunately it is gonna like unfortunately this is gonna affect someone that's really out there trying, right? Because I've been in that situation. I think I've heard everybody saying that they've been in this situation where you need help, whatever, right? And for the most part, workforce helped me. When I was unemployed, they asked me if I wanted to take some classes to help me at that time learn how to weld better, and I took them, and it was, the government paid for it, and I used that resource to get me to where I'm at today. And so yeah, I get it that some people are actually using these services for real, but we're majority of them unfortunately are not. And
I'm all for helping those who are willing to help themselves. I don't have a problem,
That's it.
those find themselves, down and need a helping hand up. I don't have a problem helping those people. I think a lot of our issues are the people that, are, on it with the, almost in perpetuity. They've been on it. Generations have been on the system, and they know it, like the back of their hands. I think a lot of us have an issue there. I mean,
Yep.
I've been poor before. We didn't
Yep.
always have a whole lot back in the day. But at the same time, there is an incentive now. The hope is that this incentivizes people to do something for themselves. There's a lot of opportunities out there. There's a plethora of ways to make some money in this day and age. There's so many ways. Choose one and go make it happen. They're trying to incentivize people to take care of themselves.
I
That's
might
the
be
goal.
I might be the black sheep in this conversation, because for generally speaking, I am hating on poor people, because the absolute majority of poor people are poor because they choose to be poor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
put them on the spot.
There's far too many opportunities for you to make the money that you need for you to progress in life, for you to not be poor. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Like, and then when I think about it too, I've been having these conversations over these past couple weeks. It really seems like, as it stands right now, as far as the statutes for the provisions that are allotted by the government incentivizes you to be poor.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
How else you gonna need
Listen,
them if you're not poor?
I don't buy into this poor or rich argument, because in this world, dude, you're always gonna have your people on top, and you're always gonna have a guy that needs to push the broom. Okay, what the true measure in life is your personal happiness. Okay, you are as happy as you make yourself. Your material, whatever it may be, wants, houses, cars, jewelry, fancy meals, whatever it is that you covet, okay, means something to you, but in the grand scheme of life, dude, it means nothing. Your happiness is measured by what you accept. Some guys, dude, they're perfect. Life is just having a wife, couple kids, nice house, 9 to 5. They don't want to do any extra. They don't want to, be the CEO of some company or things like that. Some other guy may want the world and everything in it. So it just depends on the man, and each person defines what they consider to be their slice of pie, their Shangri-La, their heaven, whatever it may be. Okay. A lot of people try to put their happiness into what they can achieve in their life. And dude, those achievements at the end mean nothing. Okay. When you're laying on your deathbed, okay, you're going to cross over to meet your maker. You know what you think about, bro? You think about the memories that you've built with your children, with your parents, with your loved ones, with your siblings. Okay. You think about moments in time. You think about memories you made. Okay. You ain't thinking about your car. You ain't thinking about your house. You ain't thinking about how much money in your bank account. This is the stuff, dude, that you really need to cherish now. Because at the end of the day, dude, ATM, Brinks trucks don't pull up to funerals, bro. you know. So when I seen my brother, I had a brother pass away not too long ago. Okay, my brother Freddie. I love my brother Freddie. I went up to Bethlehem Hospital, okay, in Pennsylvania to see him before he passed. Okay, and you know what we talked about? We didn't talk about his money. We didn't talk about his cars. We didn't talk about his house. None of that. The only memory, and this is my older brother. The memory we talked about is he went to the store and I was a baby, 3, 4 years old. This how much ahead he was of me. Okay, so he took me to the store. I walked all the way to the store. On the walk back, I refused to walk halfway. So he told me, he said, well, I picked you up and I put you on my shoulders. And I gave you a bag of chips, okay, to just kind of keep you busy. And I had stuff in my hand. So that's how we went home. He said, you ate a little bit of the chips and you took the rest of the bag and you dumped it on my head, you know? And we had a good laugh about that. And a week later, he passed away. And what I'm saying is, even at his final moments, what he wanted to talk about was about memories. of me and him and my dad, and how my dad took him to closed circuit Muhammad Ali fights and things like that. That's what we talked about. And that really made me realize what it is that's important in this life. Okay. So, yes, try to have a comfortable life and achieve as much as you can. But just know when you get to the end, that doesn't matter, bro. The people around you and the people you've met and the people you love, that's who matters. That's
I can
it.
dig it. With that being said, we're gonna keep it moving. Appreciate you, Rolando. You done took
Yeah.
us.
No.
We're gonna
Well,
keep it
sometimes
moving.
people need a little bit of reflection, and they need to know what's important.
Okay. Alrighty. This is he kind of ended us on a down note, but this is kind of ratchet. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but
I
yeah,
love Ratchet. Bring it on. Bring it on.
this situation here is this is a pretty ratchet situation here. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but take a look at this.
I've never seen before. It's a mother, a daughter, impregnated by the same man. And what are their names?
Oh,
This
wow.
is Nicole. Nicole, you want to say hi? She has a hiccup, so your daughter is so beautiful.
She's adorable and we love her so much.
And this is Nick Jr.
Nick Jr.?
Yes. Very sweet boy.
Where did you find inspiration for that?
Oh wow.
Nicholas.
Nicholas, yeah.
He's my junior.
I feel like that's every man's dream is to name their child
For sure.
their first name
And he's
Junior.
a perfect boy.
Oh, he is such a good boy.
And we wanted to give Nicole some sort of, a name that's kind of tied to Nicholas as well, because at the end of the day, my mom and I both love Nick so much.
Yeah, the babies are also so tied together. They're literally like a month apart,
Yeah.
So we wanted them to have that bond.
Wow.
This is the wildest thing I've seen in quite some
That
time.
is wild.
I'm sorry.
Can
I say
this
that
is the
on-
wildest thing I've seen in quite some time. Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. Whoever.
Are they brothers and cousins then?
Good
Yeah, what are they?
That's a good question. What would that?
I mean,
Brothers for sure. Brothers for sure. And no, uncle nephew.
Okay.
Well, the
Uncle
daughter.
niece. Uncle niece.
I will say this. Wise. White women can make anything seem cool.
I knew he was
You
gonna
know
say
what I mean?
something.
That's not true.
Because they were just sitting up there and how they were talking about it, man. I was like,
Oh my god.
I may have to get me a pair.
He
You know
was
what I'm saying? Because they made it sound real cool, bro. Like we could go down to Walmart, go pick up some baby clothes, and it's not a big deal. Everybody could hold hands, all that good stuff. They made it sound picture perfect to me.
He
You
might
know
be.
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
right.
are we living in the last days? Seriously, are we living in the
are.
last days? Moms
I told you
and
he around the
daughters are
corner.
sharing men now. Is that what we're doing now? We're sharing. Moms and daughters are sharing men now.
That is
Listen, man,
been
I
hearing-
know amongst men it's a great
Hold on,
feeling
hold
to be
on.
shared, because more than one person love you, you know what I mean? And we don't get a lot of love like that. So when you got 2 and 3 women, they all willing to be with you at one time, it's an ego booster. That's why I said it sound real attractive to me. You know what I'm saying?
those are
And
not
like-
any women.
Huh?
You know what? I think
Those
I
are not
think-
any women that want to be around them. That's a mother and a daughter. That almost
Okay.
like I threw up a little bit in my mouth.
Is that almost ancestral?
They ain't related to me, so I'm good. They related to each other. That's something they got to work out between them two. It ain't got nothing to do with me.
So that means that the mom's son is her daughter's brother,
And uncle.
And grandchild.
what? That's so I'm trying to separate. So I'm starting with the mom. Got a son.
Just no.
That's the daughter's brother.
But the kids ain't like,
And her
products of,
brother
like,
is the
incest
cousin
or
to
something
her
like that.
baby and the brother to her baby. So it's the babies that's all messed up.
Good
Because they
lord.
cousins
No,
and
because
brothers and uncles to
No,
get like
because they both got my DNA. And they ain't got nothing to do with each other. So it ain't like, I'm producing like, like some crazy looking babies, or
No,
I'm
nobody say
saying
that. No, ain't nobody say that.
No.
babies or nothing like that.
no,
You know
the
what I mean?
relational part of who they are like brothers and nephews and I believe uncles.
Okay.
Are they like
Well,
all of them?
Yeah, niece,
look,
uncle,
just do what
niece,
any
uncle relationship, cousin relationship, and brother, sister, sibling relationship. This is weird. This
just
is
do what
weird.
any American
This-
would do and just
Hey,
lie to them.
hold on.
And just
I'm
be
over
like, yo,
here
y'all
doing the
brothers.
math in my
Hold
head.
up, bro.
Hold on, bro. This was when I watched this. This looked like Nick Cannon and Mariah Carey.
Huh?
So this, if you look at it, it looked like Nick Cannon and Mariah Carey because of all the kids that he has, and this is what seems like is what's to some degrees is being pushed as normalcy when it really isn't, and it's crazy because I seeing this video, I'm actually watching a lot of I'm a big Game of Thrones fan.
Me too.
When you listen to Game of Thrones, I mean, you watch the story. There's a lot of stuff, a lot of debauchery that goes on that causes a lot of confusion and family ties, and that's what is happening here. And it's absolutely disgusting. It's absolutely unacceptable, and just bring back shame, which is also emphasized in Game of Thrones. And I encourage people to watch this show. Don't maybe not necessarily watch it with the kids, but
No, it's not a show you watch with the kids. But yeah, I'm with Game of Thrones. Michonne, you want to get in there? What are your thoughts?
Just disgusting. It's just disgusting to me. And my mind went straight to how are all these people related, honestly, because then later on in life, when they have to go to school together and be around friends together and integrate themselves into life with other people, these people don't think that far ahead. People don't think about long term. They only think about right now. And they definitely aren't thinking about their kids. This is so who shows up? Who's your
You said
father?
they only some months
Father.
apart. Do you think they were all sleeping together, like
Well, that's
together
what
at the
yeah,
same
that's what it
time?
seems like.
No, like in one room.
Still.
I'm trying not
Yep.
to say it like
Even if it's not in one room, it's still disgusting to know that.
I mean it is, but then that was like another whole
yeah.
They possess.
For sure.
Oh my gosh.
No, it's a lot of people like you got demons and then you got people that let demons use them. And those are demons. Like
Clearly they didn't think of the little ones. I mean, how embarrassing is gonna be when they grow up and they find out the
Oh yeah,
who
the
dad
internet's
is.
forever. I mean, they put this out. There are going to be some kids that are going to find this 10 or 15 years from now. They're going to be like, "Hey, this you? That's your pops?
hey,
That's your
this-
grandma?"
This is like what I read last night.
This is Ro.
Bible study.
He's my brother, but he's my uncle, but he's also my nephew, but he's also my cousin.
Weird.
Come on,
Yeah.
man. What are we talking about?
This is what I was talking about last night in Bible study, because there's nothing new under the sun, and people with their depraved minds will create. They will come up with new ways to sin. I mean, just new ways of just debauchery. That literally, they said those babies were a month apart.
Yeah.
So that means either they were laying in the bed together, they were dipping and dabbling, and as much as they want to kiki in people's face, I tell you right now, somebody in there jealous. I don't care what nobody say. Somebody in there jealous. The mother or the daughter. Somebody gonna be bothered because if he like one of them a little bit more, or if he spent a little extra time with somebody in there jealous. They like to pretend that they enjoy this foolishness. That is what you call the definition of a reprobate mind. Then people are sick, and then there'll be people that out there, Rolando, who think that this might work. No, it won't work. Everybody in the Bible who tried to have multiple wives, what happened? They ended up in problems.
What you talking about?
They all ended up in problems.
Well,
he's
and
gonna
then, you know,
end up
and
bringing.
then- and then-
He's gonna end up bringing another woman in there, or he's not gonna be with them, and it's gonna be
And
another
then-
woman.
and then-
Okay, what's the
as far as-
likelihood that these two women become single parents? What's the likelihood of that? What's the
Oh,
percentage
high.
there?
Very high.
And you know what I also think about too? It could be Nick Cannon and Mariah Carey, and you know his whole child to mother, baby mama child ratio, or it could be Stefan Diggs, who has had a child with Cardi B, but also had other children being birthed at the same time as Cardi B's child.
I mean, bro,
But
that's bad. That's
but
bad,
that's
but
not
that's
this bad.
nothing in comparison to this situation. This dude got a daughter and a mother, and he's hanging out with them, and it looks like they're in like this throuple relationship, bro. That's what you described as bad. I'm not saying that it's not. This man got a married woman pregnant, and he's got another little OF model pregnant. That is bad. That's not a good look. But this situation is diabolical, man. This is crazy.
Look, just do what the normal American would do in this situation, okay? And just lie to the kids. All right? Y'all two is brothers. All
Too
right.
late.
And that's all.
It's on the internet, bro.
It's on the internet. They're proud of this
stuff on the internet, man. You gotta stop putting stuff on the internet.
It's out there now. We talking about it. It's out there, bro.
You know what I'm saying? You should just went ahead and
we're part of the algorithm and sharing it. It's too late now.
See, Raj, this is why I like pre-internet times, bro. Because you could just tell a nice little lie. You know what I'm saying? And then once you dead and gone, they find out it was a
Those
lie.
days are over.
Them days is gone, bro. Everybody got to put everything on the internet nowadays, bro. No one does anything and they don't put it on the internet.
That's how grandpa would have the family down the street. This is all pre-internet. You know what I'm saying? This man could literally have a whole family 5 miles away and nobody knew it till granddad's funeral. You know what I'm saying? Now things don't even make it 5 minutes, man.
Nah.
You know, see, men, we used to be able to be men. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking to the men in the chat. Men, we used to be able to be men. And
what does that mean?
Stuff like this.
What does that mean?
Huh?
Why? Old enough for that type of stuff? That was a way long time ago.
Listen, I'm pre-internet. You know what I'm saying? I done my work pre-internet. Look,
pre-internet 1980.
Michelle, listen, don't let this face fool you. You know I got the baby face. You know what I'm saying? But I got some age behind this face. You know, huh?
Nothing.
Tell us how you really feel, Crystal.
Look, I'm talking about my baby face and my good looks, and you need to stop hating on me, Crystal. You know what I'm saying? Just because there's other ladies up here who's noticing how handsome I am. You know what I'm saying? And you get a little jealous. You know, it's okay. I'm still Crystal's Rolando. Right. You know what I'm saying? So calm down.
No.
Hey, listen, I know it. Wise knows it. The minister knows it. AT knows it. Everybody knows it. You know, everybody in the chat know it. You know, just stop denying yourself, girl. You know, don't beat yourself. Treat yourself.
Thank you, April.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
It's a joke. It is a joke.
So part of the situation, and Rolando, I appreciate you for bringing this up.
Thank you.
This idea of this reckless behavior on the part of men, like you said, granddad used to have a family down the street and didn't nobody know until the funeral, and the kids came out and caused a ruckus, you know, in at the last final resting place. A lot of that feeds into why you have women who are so committed to being independent, to working for themselves, having their own money, and all of the other type of foolishness that you all complain about. And I say you're right to complain about these things, but you got to understand, you have created a lot of this mess as well. And looking at this situation that we saw on the video, that's about some of the most dysfunctional and incestuous, and I would, you know, find it hard to believe that this mother raised this daughter in the fear of predators.
Wait. How can you say it's incestuous? What type of evidence do you got to support that? I ain't see him making out in the video.
Okay, what I'm saying is incestuous is not a relationship between the mother and the daughter, but that the mother and the daughter both have had an intimate relationship with the same man at the same time. A month apart suggests that they are sharing the same fluids and other exchanges that happen in that counterpart. And I'm saying a mother who is so misguided that she
Yep.
would allow herself and her child to be in that position makes me think this mother is somebody who's reckless and could put her child in front of predators or anything else. I'm
Listen,
not
Les,
so
if I was the
sure that
guy,
girl, although wait, I'm not so sure that girl wasn't groomed for this situation. How do you happen to be what of
That is a
childbearing
fair
age
point.
and you happen to think, yes, this makes sense to me. I'm gonna
Yes.
lay down on Tuesday with the man my mother laid with on Monday. You have to be
Yep.
groomed into that kind of nonsense.
Yep.
So I'm
Facts.
believing that this dysfunction and this nice couch scene, like you said, with everybody holding hands and legs crossed and kikiing, that's the part for show. I bet you, I'm willing to bet if you look back a little bit, this is some nasty work, as Jay Witt would say, because you don't just normal, healthy, sane people don't wake up and make these kind of decisions. These are the kind of pathologies that take years to groom children into. I think it's disgusting, and I think law enforcement need to go by their house and ask some people some questions.
listen, if it was me and we was all sitting on the couch like that, that'd be my Christmas card. You know what I'm saying? I sent one to Wise. What?
I don't want that card, bro.
You
I
don't
don't
want
want that
that
card,
card?
bro.
That part.
Mm-mm.
That part.
You gonna send it back?
You're looking like, why y'all all
Return to
looking
sender.
like?
Seriously, return to sender.
Return to sender. I was thinking the same thing. Return to sender.
I'm gonna keep my evidence for the trial. When they call me to
Wise
speak
going,
in the trial,
Wise going to return to sender with a good scolding on the back. Bro, how dare you
oh
send
yeah,
me
he
this?
sent
I'm
it
so
out.
disappointed.
I think Nikki touched it really good though. Those people are possessed. They're just, this is not norm. And Celeste hit the nail in the head. That was grooming, because the mom, obviously, I don't know who dated who first, but if it clearly, if he was dating the daughter first, you know what I mean? Like, that's so messed up. That's like beyond distrust. And what Celeste said about one of them being jealous, in biblical times, fun fact, when Solomon and King David had multiple wives, they didn't live in the same household. He had palaces for each one because they couldn't get along. So again, yeah, I see the odds of them being single moms. Yeah, it's really
Pretty high.
high.
Plus 90%, plus 80%.
Yes.
90
Plus
plus
99%.
90%.
Now, I have a question about this. I wonder if this is where my mind goes with this conversation is the children's father to children's mother ratio. Think about the ratio, because in real life, more women have multiple baby fathers than men have multiple baby mothers. This is one man that has multiple different women pregnant, that has children with multiple different. Okay.
I'm listening to you. I'm trying to get an understanding where you're going with this.
Yeah, it looks
Why,
like it might be.
why is
their
they
point.
sticking up for you in the
I
chat?
think the only sick thing is that
Somebody said return the sinner.
yes,
It's all bad though.
I support that.
It's all bad.
Listen,
It's all bad.
On the whole scope of this entire thing this is a mother and daughter. How is that how did we come to that conversation?
I know.
How did we get to this conversation?
Well, does that kind of tie in with the whole poly and that that whole movement that is happening?
I think
Is that
that's poly. That's
I was gonna say that seems like that's a little bit
else.
That's a whole
way
nother.
out here. Because sweetheart, this is mommy's boyfriend. Oh, you find him attractive too? Why don't we both share him? Or mom, meet David. Oh, mommy thinks he's handsome. Can I try him out too? Sure. Like, is this the conversation? Like, how does this work? This is
You're
Or
proving
disgusting.
did
my
it
point.
start
This
off?
is
Or
not
did it
fun.
start off as deception and people was just okay with it?
I mean, y'all
Did
y'all saying
somebody
that it was
sleep with
the young
somebody?
lady. Couldn't it have been mom? You know, got
That's what
with
I
the
was gonna
young
say. Did
man,
No, I
and
said
somebody
both
if
of
sleep
it's a
with
real grooming
somebody,
situation,
sneak and get caught sleeping, but they don't want to let them go? Just gonna make it work.
Yep.
That could be a thing. I don't know. I don't know how you get to this place. Just, I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know.
you're all proving the point that I was trying to make.
We didn't.
In reality today, more women have different men that they're sleeping with than men have different women they're sleeping with. Sexual debauchery is
I don't know
the
about that space.
I don't know about
Listen,
that's
man,
Now you
look it up.
I
Look
don't
it
see it
up.
like
so
Look
you're
it
saying that
up.
the
I.
women are worse
All
than
right,
the men?
so
Look it up. Look it
wait.
up.
All right,
It's
so let's take the babies out of this. What you're saying, I'm trying to understand, Spaces. Look at you, you're already mad. I'm asking a question, an honest question. Are you saying that more women are having more sex than men are having sex?
Yes.
More
yeah.
partners. More
I
partners.
agree with that.
Yes.
are
And
you
more
say
partners.
are you because you said babies? Because I'm like, are you just talking about?
Babies are
Well,
the
I mean, they lead in
evidence
the
of
baby
sex
category
happening.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
No.
definitely more women with children than there are men with children,
Yeah,
Listen,
especially in the
right,
black
right,
community.
I've
understood.
had.
But
Well, yeah,
you
I guess
said
you're
they're
right
having
because it's
more
really
sex.
only a few of the guys that's impregnating all of those women. It just seemed like it's a lot of guys out here.
They make it seem that way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, but it's
Yeah,
really
I
only a
agree
certain
with you.
set of guys that's getting
Yes.
a
Yeah.
lot of women.
I mean, when you
Women
think about the
pregnant.
black
Right.
No,
community,
but
most black men don't have children. Majority, you know, when you think of over 50% of black men don't
Yeah.
have any children at all.
but
But about
Space is
10%
right.
of you are having all the children with all the women.
Well, yeah, 10%, you know,
Yeah.
the women are trying to,
Are you
you know,
are
to
you
be with
saying,
that 10% of men.
Wise? Are you saying that they know of? You mean
No, that, I mean, this is just the data. The data says that, you
that
know, there
they know
are
of?
most men, over 50% of men don't have children. Yeah.
That
Not
they
even that they
know
know
of?
of, that they just
Because
in general.
there are men that have children. They have no idea that they have children.
Yeah, but
Is
that's a
that a
small
reflection
percentage. Come
of the
on, man. That's a
man, or
small
is that a
percentage.
reflection of the
But listen,
woman?
I'm not
What?
big on judging people because at the end of the day, you know, everybody does their fair amount of dirt, you know, that kind of stuff. And I'm not the type to point fingers, but I will say this. I have slept with women, you know, several women in the same family, you know what I mean? And it does happen.
What does that got to do with
Huh?
anything?
No, I'm
This is
just
a
trying to
confession.
let you
He's
know
proving
that
my point.
it does happen,
He's
Yeah.
you
proving
know,
my point.
and women
Yep.
will know, hey, he's
I
sleeping
agree,
with my
Space.
aunt, you know, or something like that. You know, and maybe the aunt told her, hey, Ro blew my back out. You know what I mean? He's
Oh my God.
Superman in the bedroom.
We're bugging, bro.
You
But
know, and next thing you
Spaces
know,
is
she wants
correct.
something.
Yeah,
Spaces is
because
absolutely correct.
women control the sex, you know, and the way you can confirm that, me growing up, right?
Exactly.
Going to adult shops, what do you see is the most product that they sell there?
Selling
I'm
to
gonna say
women.
yeah, women product. They don't have all those accessories because they're not selling it, right? So what does that tell you? The women have a higher sex drive than us guys,
No, that's not true.
yeah, I'm
That's not what.
serious. If you go,
I would
if
think.
you
I
Hold
would.
on.
if you
I would
go,
think
Hold
that
on.
would mean
no,
that
Ain't a woman on earth
because
don't
with
have
if you
guys
go,
that
if you
have
go
bigger
sex
to,
sex
with.
drive than me.
if
You
you
I'm
are
go
sorry.
so
to,
I
off
don't
the
hold on,
agree with
topic.
that at
The
all.
topic
if
is how sick and
hold on,
twisted these people
I know. I
are.
don't know where y'all going with this.
I have no idea why.
well,
I
I was
have
gonna
no
tie it
idea
in,
where they
I
going.
want to go
but
down
Space
Robert's.
is saying,
We
I
went
don't know,
way
man.
somewhere
Why,
else, and we ain't
Robert's
talking
losing
about the
it.
fact that a mama and a daughter are smashing the same man and
Hold up.
mixing juices.
Hold on. I
I do
gotta
not think
bring.
that's the issue here.
I gotta bring
No,
Robert
so
back
what's
into
happening is
reality.
this.
Roberto, ven
yeah.
para atrás, bro. Tú estás perdido. Me
Oh my
oíste?
gosh.
No, you are lost, bro. You need to come on back.
No,
Because
no,
ain't
no,
no
no.
woman on planet Earth got a bigger sex drive than me.
So
No,
right. So,
it
wait,
ain't happening, bro.
Oh my gosh.
so
No,
wait. What's
that ain't
happening
happening.
is, all right. So we're getting this is the thing. The actual drive for sex, which is a physiological response. women do not have anywhere near the same sex drive as men. But what is happening is a small pool of men are having lots of sex with the majority of women who are having sex. So if there's, let's say 30% of women are having sex, there's maybe 10 or 15% of men that are having sex with all of the women who are willing to have sex. And the rest of the men, Spaces says, I think someone in the chat agreed, around 52% Wise was saying that as well. They're not in that pool, which is really what's creating a lot of the angst around dating and marriage at the moment. Is there are a lot of great guys who are not getting access to the women who are willing, who are willing to have sex, particularly those women who are willing to have sex before marriage. They're not getting access to them, but it's not because their drive is great. It's not because their drive is greater. It's because all of these women like the same 10% of men, and they're all willing to have sex with that same 10 to 15% of men.
Agree. Agree.
Alrighty. Let's keep it moving, man. Last topic. I don't even know where I want to go.
Well, before you want to go, I do have to hop off.
Okay.
But I did want to say thank you so much, Brother Wise, for having me on. It was good meeting everybody. Thank you, chat. Just another brown girl in America.
Yeah, appreciate you, Nikki.
I see you, Spacey.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
See you tomorrow.
Yep.
She gonna dream about Uncle Ro. I'm unforgettable.
This guy.
We are all
This
so
guy.
blessed.
Seriously, this guy. Seriously. Alrighty. Last topic. We'll play this and then we're gonna get out of here. We're definitely past time.
And it's gonna cost you something. Even having a good man is gonna cost you something, and that's going to be amplified if you live with him. Because what you have to realize is that men are raised in a world where they believe that women are to serve them, even if they are good. He can be kind, he can be helpful, he can be a provider, but he's still going to have the expectation that you manage that home and that you assist with managing and regulating his emotions. Because then you're not just his partner, you become his manager, you become the planner. That is that invisible labor. That is that emotional labor, that physical labor, that financial labor, that spiritual labor that oftentimes you don't even realize you're putting into living in this household with this man. This isn't about hating men. This is about how a woman's peace grows differently when her home answers only to her. A man-free home is not anti-love. It's choosing peace over performance.
Spoken like a true person with no husband.
She's not saying what he does. You know what I mean? Like
Exactly. Never that. And but this is what they listen to, which is how we get to these numbers with a bunch of women with a bunch of baby daddies. But
Was she speaking? Was what she saying truthful or a lie?
I mean, it might have been true, and no, it might be true, but she's also neglecting what the guy does because it may be that way for her, but then he's doing something that because guys, we usually don't complain. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm generalizing there, but some of us guys don't really complain. Like I don't. I don't say anything when my wife does all the stuff that I think is negative until it blows up, and then then I throw it in her face and we get an argument. So, but anyways, but she's obviously just focusing on just me. That's what, to me, that's what it sounds like.
She's not even married, I promise you. It's usually unmarried people saying these things who know so much about being in a household with a man and hasn't been in a household with one.
One philosophy that I live by is women are experts at teaching other women how to be single.
Yes, you're right.
Maybe
They're
I just didn't
experts
understand
at giving the absolute worst advice
because I agree with her.
And
I
teaching
did
them
too.
how to be
Crystal, I did too.
I don't. That's what I was like. Maybe I'm not understanding because I agreed with exactly everything that she
did
said.
too, Crystal. I did too.
Which is like, again, it could be true, but she's obviously neglecting what he does, because then she could you could be saying, like, if you're saying he's contributing nothing in a
She's not
relationship,
saying
then it's not a
he's
She didn't
relationship.
say
contributing
that.
nothing.
She didn't say
She's
that.
not saying that. So what
Can you play the video again?
what she's saying is this, and what she says is absolutely true. Now, there is a cost for a man to be with a woman. Absolutely. There is a cost for a woman to be with a man. And unfortunately, women are often raised in the fantasy, in the euphoria of love. And when they actually get into the relationship and have to pay the price, they become very dissatisfied. Since you all love data, here's a great data point for you. Most women, not most, many women who get divorced do not want to remarry. Most men who get divorced want to remarry because women became, and which is a lot of reason why women are the large majority of people who file for divorce. They stay with a man 10, 15, 20 years, particularly if they have young children. They want to raise their young children inside that household. But my only point to say that is we have got to stop teaching women about this fantasy. It is setting them up for failure, and start telling them, listen, marriage is going to be a situation where you are going to great benefit, but you are also going to have to give a lot for that great benefit. And once a woman can go into that clear-eyed and open-minded and not sailing through the euphoria of the infatuation of the early love, that maybe we can actually have some relationships that can sustain. But the idea that women just get into their marriages and the man provides for them and he's a great guy, and so she's happy and everything's fine, that does not work for us. That is not how we're built. That's
I didn't
not
hear that. I didn't hear her say that, but I'm not sure where anybody would think that anything is wonderful, peachy keen, and hearts and roses with regard to anything in life.
So
And
I've asked a bunch of my friends when they meet somebody and they're dating and thinking seriously, and I ask them all the time, oh, he's this and he's that and he's great and he's wonderful and all of those things, and just in girl talk conversation, and I would be like, oh, that's great, he sounds wonderful, that's fantastic. What would you be willing to give up? I mean, Kevin Samuels did whole shows on this. He kept asking them, would you be willing to give up your friends? Would you be willing to stay off social media? Would you be willing to whatever? The fact of the matter is, you're not going to get this great man for free. It costs something. There are some ways that you have to change your life, that you have to alter the way you're going to be able to live and fit inside that union and to make that union work. But if you're not ever told that that's going to be required of you, it can turn bitter and resentful when you're sitting around with, well, I do all this and it's unnoticed, and I do all this and I've given up this. And to be truthful, most men have no concept that you're giving up anything. Most men think how lucky you are to have gotten them. And it never occurs to them that while you are lucky to have them, and you are blessed to have them, it wasn't a freebie. It comes at a cost.
I have to say, I agree with Celeste. I want to say I agree with Celeste, and I was also looking at it from, because she made sure to say even a good man, and the reason why, what I was picking up from what she was saying, because especially in the world of social media, so many women think that they're getting married and they're about to be the princess of it all, and they're going to go on shopping sprees. That's why they're looking for that man with the 6 figures and above. They're about to move in, and everything is about to be perfection, and he's going to come, and when she's at home, and because she decides she's going to be a stay-at-home woman, and she's going to go shopping, and then when she's done shopping, she's going to be at the pool. He's going to come home, he's going to cook her food for her, bring that food. I've heard women say this, so this is not even just something that I'm making. I've heard women say these type of things, and they're not understanding when they get married, oh, there's a lot you have to give up. There's a lot that you're sacrificing. You're not here being the passenger princess, the wife princess that's just supposed to sit there and look pretty and that's it. There are things that you're going to have to sacrifice. You are his partner. You are his helpmate. There are things that you're going to have to do. Now, when you are off by yourself and then you're in your singledom and you have nobody to answer to. Do you know any women that I know that are married, that are friends, that they complain like he wants to know where I'm going? Why is that his business? Is that not your husband? What do you mean? That's your husband. You're supposed to tell him where you're going. Or why is he in my space? Like I have to see him every day. You married him. What do you mean? That came with when you said I do. That is what it's about. But a lot of women, like what Celeste is saying, they have this fairy tale image of what marriage is about. So what I got from what this lady was saying was that, hello, women, open your eyes. It's not just something of you coming in and it's just fairy tale because most women, and that's why I talk about this all the time about do not idolize marriage, because most women idolize the wedding. They're not thinking about the marriage. They idolize the wedding. They're thinking about their dress, what's going to happen and all that other stuff. But then after the wedding, what happens? And so this woman is having a very real conversation. And even with you living with a man, and I can say that real quick, because living with a man, I learned very quickly how it went, how it looks. So me leaving my home with my parents and then moving in with a man, there was work. It wasn't, Crystal, now you are living life and it's all grand. So I'm just saying that was what I know. Y'all heard something different, but what I heard was this woman giving a clear warning to all those women who think they're about to be a princess in a fairy tale, about to be taken care of. This man is about to do all this stuff. And it doesn't matter if he's a good man or whatever, you still going to have to sacrifice, because marriage is work. Living with a man is still work. That is what I got.
Wise, let me
Before you go, Rolando, I want to give Michelle an opportunity.
I think everything is work. So if you change from one job to another job, it's going to be work and you're going to have to adjust. If there are grown women adults who think that Disney is life, then they need some mental health help. And I've said that plenty of times, because at some point in life, we have to grow up. We're not 14, 15, and 16. And when you're going to share your life with someone, then you need to know that you can't be the person that you were before, and you're going to have to make adjustments. Maybe the words that are being used are what makes it sound negative to me. I got to sacrifice. And just like when women say stuff like, I feel like I'm going to be a slave. That's an insult to say that you're going to be a slave because you're going to marry someone. It's an insult to the word slavery and everything about slavery, but it's also an insult because that's just a dumb thing to say, to equate that to that. Then it sounds like you shouldn't be someone who should be getting married. If you can't give in order to get, then I would say that you shouldn't get married. I say that you should not be in a relationship, because it's typically women also that are not married that say things like this. When we got married, we didn't have all this stuff. We worked together in order to achieve. We had nothing together. We achieved and worked together. I don't understand personally, but I'm also one that thinks that the thing I didn't have in life was the trip to Hawaii. So maybe I'm just different. But I think, in what I've seen in my life with my family and their marriages and my uncles and fathers and all of those people, you work together, you work with one another. Everything is not going to be hunky dory. You figure it out, you talk through it, and then you move forward. You press on. I shouldn't look to be the only person to be happy. I should look to say, what can I do to make you happy? Like he should do the same for me. We should be doing it for each other. It shouldn't be a competition. She makes it sound like it's some sort of a competition where I should have everything, and if I don't, then it's going to be a problem, and look out. And when someone earlier today says women keep women single, this is a prime example of it, in my opinion.
Women keep women single.
Before you go, Celeste, I want to play this because this brother here, and it's something that I've told my children. I've talked to some of the younger brothers out there about this as well. I want to play this for you, and then Celeste, I'll let you get in there, shortly afterwards. Give me 1 second.
I try to stay away from is the one where nobody got a man. You telling me you got 3 sisters, none of them got a man. Your mama ain't got a man. None of your aunties got a man. Your grandma don't got a man. Your great grandma don't got a man. Godmother don't got a man. And we gonna add the best friend to the situation. And your best friend don't got a fucking man. Nobody got a man. Nah, it's something there. It's some type of spirit, some negative energy. It's something around that family that is just keeping men away. And I would not be a part of it. It may be a generational curse. And she may be the one to break it, right? That's good for her. I hope she does. I just will not be a part of that.
Okay, so something I've been talking about, especially when I've talked to my boys, try to steer clear of women that do not have an idea of what a functional relationship looks like, especially those that, come from generations of either single parents or there's no one in her family that's ever been married. This woman has no idea what it means to be a wife. She has no idea. Steer clear of those type of women because, like Crystal said, when you get into a marriage, it is work, and it's work on both sides. There are responsibilities for both parties within this relationship. And I do agree with Crystal in the thought process for these women. They think, hey, I'm gonna get married and everything is gonna be great. But I didn't grow up seeing that. I grew up seeing my parents. We started without a whole lot. I got a chance to, I didn't really see my grandparents, but I heard the story of where they started at. And I got a chance to see the fruits of their labor after years of being together, building together. So I got a chance to see people get together, maybe not have a whole lot, but because they're together on the same page, on the same team, building, they were able to, build a real solid life, not only for themselves, but for the children. And now, for the grandchildren. So I think there's a lot of women out there giving bad advice because they just don't know any better. They haven't been in a household with, the grandparents together, grandma, granddad, moms, dads, they just don't have an understanding of what that looks like. So I think that men, when you hear women that speak like, the one lady in the initial clip, or you meet somebody that says, hey, nobody in my family's married, nobody's, in this, those are probably women you should probably steer clear of because they don't really understand the responsibilities that come with that title.
Well, I just wanted to say, as the only divorced man on the panel, that I disagree with the point that Celeste said earlier about divorced men are more likely to look for a wife, after divorce. Let me tell you, most men who have been through a divorce have been through a rough divorce. They've been taken through the ringer, taken to the cleaners, as they say. They ain't looking for another go around. Most of these guys, okay, some of them go the hooker and pizza route. The other guys go the player route. Some guys, they play the field. But believe
Some
me,
guys going the passport route, man, getting up out of here.
and some guys go the passport route, but very few guys are looking to take another go around on that merry-go. So, no, I do not agree with that because
Statistically, more men
after
that are divorced remarry than women who are divorced.
well,
And
I don't know who
they
taking them.
say they will remarry, and women say
I,
they will not.
Do you think why do you
well,
think that is the case? So do you think that men cherish or care more about marriage
No.
than women?
No, I think it's actually, it's not that I think specifically that they care more about it. I think that men, it's the same reason why men never say, I don't need a woman. Most men, you almost will never hear a man say, I don't need no woman. Men fundamentally understand, and specifically because of their sex drive, that they do not want to spend the rest of their life without access to a woman for
Facts.
sex
No, you're right
and
about that.
other reasons. Women
Nah, you're right about that.
can consider a life spending a large majority of their life without consistent access to sex and other things. That's not something that's foremost in a woman's mind. A woman does not put sex at that level of priority that men put sex as, and rightly so. This is not a negative statement. It's just a biological statement. Most men have an understanding that they do not want to spend a significant amount of time without consistent access to sex. At least that is something that they strive for. That is not
Absolutely.
something that women wake up in the morning or necessarily strive for. It's kind of an afterthought for us in that respect. So I think that's what drives men more so than women to say, even in a bad circumstance, I still will see if I can put myself in a situation where I can have that. And they, when they're surveyed, they'll say that they want that. And I'm not saying, and I want to pick up on Crystal's point, I'm not saying that what this woman was saying it was good, so to speak. And like Spaces was saying, it was advice to keep women single. If that was her intention, that wasn't mine. What I'm saying is we have women in a fantasy about love and about marriage and about relationships. And when they actually have to be in love and be in a marriage and be in a relationship, that comes with demands. It's natural that it would come with demands. But if you have never been told that there are going to be expectations of you and that there will be demands upon you, then when those demands come over time, it can create resentment or all types of, wow, this is not what I thought it would be. And this is not, all of those things. Whereas men are generally aware of what their expectations are. They're aware of what it means to be a husband. Even when we talked last week, when Wise was saying about respect, I said I'd have to ask, how is it that you want me to respect you? Because I'm not going to assume that what I think respect is exactly what you're going to feel respected by. So women don't have a lot of good information and good education about what it is really going to be like to be happily and successfully and in a relationship with a man. I don't think that we're getting that information. And I think a lot of women are in relationships, demands are made upon them, or they have expectations that are absolutely unrealistic and ridiculous. And they, the relationships fall apart and they're happy to walk away from them. And they
No,
think,
but that's why I think that statistic is not accurate. I think that's an old statistic or something like that, because I tell you right now, these men, the way these divorce proceedings are going, and once they leave, and then knowing what kind of caliber of woman is out there waiting for them for the second go around, the men, at least that I know, ain't signing up to go on another tour of that. So,
you might be right, but I mean, it's the same thing as
I
saying
just
the
don't
men
see it.
who go to child support aren't having any more sex. No, they still are.
No,
They
no, no.
still
I,
are.
I never I never said that, but this
true.
is the point. Men don't
That
have
is
to
true.
marry women to get sex.
Can I just point out real
You're
quick?
making an argument like a man
They
has
don't
to
have to
marry
marry women to
somebody to
get
be able
sex,
to
but they
access
do.
sex, and
But,
that's
but
not the
they pretty
case.
much do have to marry them to have consistent access. That's
And can I?
the
No,
difference between.
I don't even know if
Can I
that's
listen.
the
say?
case
Hold
these
on, hold
days.
on,
You
hold
know
on,
what I'm
hold
saying?
on.
There's dudes
Can I
out
just?
there,
You didn't hear
getting
me.
married
I
and
just
they're
You
not
want
didn't
even
hear
getting
me when I
consistent
started off the
access.
show with the
Yolanda, hold
conversation
on.
with
I just want to
Wise.
say
I
this.
know,
You
right?
didn't hear the
I just want to
That's
say
conversation I
this
had with
to
that's
her.
the
Alexi.
that's
I just
I
want to
that's
had
how
say
they
What
this
get
to
marriage
I
have
us.
you
had
Alexi.
been
that girl
in?
for years. I had
Wait,
that
wait.
girl
No,
for
I was
years.
saying.
They
I just
took
want to say
Trump
this.
and
This is
his
the last point. It's very
deportations
quick.
for it to
I was
stop.
going to say the reason why I said what I said, and I said I understood what that lady was saying. Do y'all remember when we had the discussion about the amount of women that were just randomly leaving their good husbands because they didn't realize the sacrifice that they had to make when they got married, and now they have to give up who they are? Like, they're requiring me to give up myself. Like, I can't. Like, why would he want me to do that? And now I have to be one with him. Do y'all remember? Wise, you remember we had this conversation? The amount of women that were doing these. I'm leaving my husband because now they want me to do all this and that and the other. And you're sitting here and you're just like, but that's what you signed up for when you said I do. So that's why I'm saying, I'm not saying she's right. I said I understood what she was saying, because there was a rash of videos of women saying that they were leaving their husbands because I'm not happy, because it's not about me anymore. So it wasn't they felt like the light is off of them, and it's now they're required to sacrifice and become one, and now I got to care about his needs. And these were real videos of real women that were out here leaving their husbands and making these announcements. So clearly there is something missing when you have women that have their husbands walking out them their husbands because now they're required to be one with their husbands and be their helpmate. So you didn't understand the vow that you took when you said I do. And I know I was reading a lot of comments and people were saying, "Oh, that's because you're single, Crystal. That's why you understood what I said." It's not about being single. I come from a family where my grandparents were married almost 60 years before my grandfather passed away. My parents will be married 47 years. I understand marriage. I understand marriage very clearly, and I understand because I study the Word of God what kind of covenant. Because most people think about marriage like a business contract. No, it is a covenant. So it's not a joke. And that is why Crystal has not said I do yet, because when I do, I am done. I'm not out here playing the field. So that is why I understand taking marriage is very serious. And a lot of these women, they want to play with it. It ain't a joke. It's something that is serious. And so I appreciate what that woman was saying, because most people are sitting here on TikTok and they're like, oh, if I get married, I'm going to get flown out here and we're going to go visit here. These are the things that you're seeing all over social media. And these women, these are younger girls growing up and believing this is what marriage is going to look like. And it's like, that's not what marriage is about. Understand what it is about. So that is why I said I understood what she was saying. I get what she's saying, because there's a lot of people that's walking around this place delusional when it comes to marriage. Yes. Women and men, not just women and men that walk around delusional, because there are men who walk around and think that all you're going to be doing is making him sandwiches. He feels like he has nothing else that he's supposed to do. I've heard men talk like that too. They don't understand what marriage is about. Go read the Bible and learn what marriage is about.
Listen, people just need to stop. People put a lot into marriages, not realizing that marriages are, for the most part, they're pretty simple. You know what I mean? It's just two people both working towards the same. And a lot of people like to wrap all types of things in it, and say, well, oh, the only reason they stayed together is because of religion, or it's because of this, or it's because of that. Okay, the reason they stayed together is two people who loved each other, who knew they needed each other, okay, and still had those still old-fashioned values. But nowadays, everybody feels like that they could do better by themselves. They'll be together for so long, and then one will get a promotion. It could be something as simple as a promotion. Let's just say the guy's with his woman, they make about the same. The woman gets a substantial raise. All of a sudden, she's making more than a man. She feels like, she is better. She's on a higher level, and she needs to go find somebody on her level. And relationships end for just simple stuff just like that all day, every day. And women will say, well, he was a good guy, but he wasn't my guy. What does that mean? You know what I mean? They come up with all these stupid little rationales. Look, if you want to have a happy relationship, okay, play the role of a woman. And if you don't know what that is, okay, don't ask your mama, all right? Because apparently your mama didn't teach you. So you need to go further down the line. Go ask your grandma. And if you ain't got a grandma, go ask somebody else's grandma, all right? You really need to get a grip and find out what it is that men want from a woman. All right. Once you find that out, it's very simple. The relationship goes by smoothly. Okay. I said it the other
If
week.
he
Wives
agrees
was
to
my
give it.
witness. Sleep with your man, cook the man, some good meals, and don't talk to him. Like your
That's
man
exactly right.
ain't your everything. He ain't your spirit animal. He ain't all these little nice little names you like to give him. You know what I mean? Like a man ain't even your friend. He's your man.
And
Okay?
that's the
You
part that
want
becomes
friends?
disappointing to
Okay,
women.
go
They
make
believe all of
friends.
that.
Yes,
They
go
believe
make
he's going to
friends.
be your
Me
friend. He's going to be your
personally,
emotional support. And when they find out he's not, that's the problem.
look, me personally, when I was married, I encouraged my wife to have friends. All right. My wife had 7, 8, 9, 10 friends, and they would come over every Thursday, and they would sit around and
Losing me,
talk, and
man.
I go get lost. You know what I mean? Because I got my friends. At the end of the day, I'm not trying to be your friend. You know why? Because I'm not interested in what you got to say.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And I know that
Yeah.
sounds rude and that sounds cruel and
No,
women want to be connected and all this and all that. But check this out.
If they
We
took
gotta have our own personal
know that
lives
stuff.
outside of each other. Okay, you
Hold up,
got your
bro.
life, I got my life, we come together and then we share a life. When you make me your everything and I make you my everything, you know what's gonna happen? That's gonna wear out real quick. And
You
then
married because you care what
I
she has to
don't
say.
like you, you don't like me, you hate the sound of my chewing, my sound of my breathing, you hate the way I walk across the room and all this. You know why? Because we done been around each other too long. That's why the 80s marriages will work. I go off to work, guess what? All types of stuff can happen. An earthquake happened, roof caved in, all that stuff happened while I was at work. I didn't find out till I get home. But nowadays, I got my
Okay.
cell phone. I get a text every 10 minutes from you, smiley face, this, that, Facebook post, Instagram post. You didn't like my picture. Come on, man. It's just too much. People get tired of each other. Like, go get lost with your friends, man. Go eat a $20 salad or something. Leave me alone.
Michelle, get in there. I know you wanted to.
I was just saying, if a woman got to know the man, they would know that from the beginning, to know the things that you're saying. But I don't think that people take the time to get to know each other, which is a part of the problem as well. In addition to this Disney fantasy is what people call it, which I hate, but that is what it is. Which is why I say, you know, you got to grow up from the age of 14 or 15. If everyone can go to college and get educated and everyone can figure out how to get on the other side of the world and figure out how to do all these things, they most certainly can figure out how to communicate with someone and work through things and be together or not. It's just as simple as that, in my opinion.
I would agree with that. And with that being said, I want to get out of here, y'all. I'm sorry. You guys
all good.
I kept y'all on a lot longer than expected, but I'm tired. I got to get up early. So we got to do this again. But appreciate you guys pulling up, man. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
You know, thank you guys for hitting the like button. Everybody that supported the channel financially this evening. Thank you guys very much. We're going to get out of here. You know, I guess we'll be back at this thing next week, right? Next week, late shift, next week, 9 p.m.
I don't know. Like you changed up the lineup for the morning show. I'm confused now.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I don't know, Wise. I'm getting a lot of hate in the chat. I don't know if you cruise in the chat, you know what I mean? But I'm getting the STFU, you know, all across the board because they ain't like my little friend comment. Well, guess what, bro? If your wife is your friend, then cool, man. That's cool for you, bro. But my wife ain't my friend, bro. She my wife. That's just the way I see things. So you
I
know,
understand that. I
we all
disagree. I mean,
have
my
our
wife's my home.
opinions,
My
bro.
wife, that's
You
the
can
homie.
disagree.
You know, so I guess I'm one of those. You know, in that, you know, my wife
But
and I, we were
I tell
friends
you
for
what.
a while before we actually, you know, kind of took that step. So you know, we cool.
Take a look down in that chat, man. They done lost all Christianity up in there. So I ain't trying to hear none of that wrong religious. You know, as soon as you say something they don't like, here it go to abbreviations. Okay, God know what those abbreviations mean. So y'all need to chill out. All right, cause God watching. All right, get your Christianity back. It's just a show, bro. Calm down.
And that just answers all questions. There could never be a Crystal and Rolando because my husband will be my best friend.
With that being said, we're gonna get out of here, man. Thank you guys so much for pulling up today. Thank you guys. Hopefully it was the first for some of you guys.
What
Won't
if
be
he
the
changes,
last. I hope.
Crystal?
Come hang out with us. Hang out with us. Rolando, he's gonna be better. He'll be better the next time. I'm gonna talk to him offline. You know, give him a little spanking. He'll be all right.
Well,
we appreciate you guys. Thank you, Mashawn. Appreciate you pulling up today.
The chat side.
You know, thank you, Robert. Appreciate you pulling up as well. Celeste, Crystal, thank you guys. We're gonna get out of here, man. Hey, we'll see y'all in the morning. 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for ARP in the morning, man. Y'all take care, man. God bless y'all, gang. Peace.
God bless.
Right.
It's the late shift crew. You already know. Handling this, stacking chips, money flow. It is what it is. Don't play with me. I'm on time, but it's the late shift. See.